reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. NASA says it's on track for tomorrow's first launch attempt of its Artemis 2 moon flight. If all goes as planned, 4 astronauts will blast off as early as 6:24 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. CBS's Peter King at the Kennedy Space Center.
It's been a smooth countdown, and NASA test director Jeff Spaulding says the launch team is ready.
People are excited and ready to go on this first chapter on our way back to the moon.
The real test will come tomorrow morning when they start loading fuel onto the huge Space Launch System rocket. NASA hopes to avoid repeating fuel leaks that have delayed the launch. The forecast looks almost perfect for tomorrow. Space Force meteorologist Mark Berger.
The optimistic side of me says that means 80% chance of go here.
Peter King, CBS News at the Kennedy Space Center.
Iraqi officials say an American journalist has been kidnapped in Baghdad. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
The Iraqi Interior Ministry says security forces pursued the kidnappers and arrested one suspect in a vehicle that had overturned in the pursuit, but the journalist was not in that vehicle, and the other car got away. Search efforts are ongoing. The U.S. Embassy hasn't commented, but has warned about kidnapping risks to U.S. citizens.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the U.S. is winning the war with Iran and that the upcoming days will be decisive.
If Iran is wise, they will cut a deal. President Trump doesn't bluff and he does not back down. You can ask Khomeini about that.
Iran's president said last hour that his country has the necessary will to end the ongoing war with Israel, but is seeking guarantees. U.S. stocks are soaring. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu last hour just said that Israel will continue to, quote, crush Iran's terror regime. A federal judge agrees to permanently block the Trump administration from implementing a presidential directive to end federal funding for National Public Radio and the Public Broadcasting Service, saying the order is unlawful and unenforceable. Gas prices eclipse $4 a gallon in the U.S., the highest since 2022. The nation's farmers are feeling the squeeze. More from CBS's Lana Zak in Iowa City.
Farmers had hoped that this year they were going to be able to recover from the devastating financial impacts of last year's planting season. Now we hear that diesel is really hurting them.
The Supreme Court rules against Colorado's conversion therapy ban and in favor of a counselor who challenged it. CBS News contributor Jessica Levinson.
We're talking about speech, not conduct. That puts us into an entirely different framework when it comes to the First Amendment. It means we're really worried about the government regulating us.
Stocks are up on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here?
How is this possible? Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60 Minutes.
The search for a missing autistic man continues. More on that coming right up. But first, your KIRO News Radio traffic brought to you by your KIRO Newsradio app. Everything's looking great out there. A typical day with some slowing through Seattle, and that's about it. North 5, we're stop and go now between the West Seattle Bridge just past I-90. That's where a lot of you are peeling off and hopping into the express lanes. And then that Ship Canal backup starts right at 5:20, so really short backups here. Plan on 15 minutes to get through downtown. And South 5, you're looking good, wide open. If you're traveling over any of our mountain passes this noon hour, all passes reporting no restrictions. Here's some drive times for you. Everett to Bellevue, 25 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle will take you 20, and Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, just a 20-minute drive. Text app to 888-973-5476 and download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. A family in Arlington has been looking for their missing son for a year now. Jonathan Huang was 21 when he walked out the back door of his home. He has autism. His family doesn't believe he would leave on his own or be able to find his way back. KIRO 7 TV reports a Ring doorbell camera caught footage believed to be Huang several months later in Kirkland, 40 miles away. If you think you've seen him, call police. A $100,000 reward is being offered for information leading to his recovery. King County Executive Jermai Zahilai signed an executive order this morning to increase housing availability for those living unhoused. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
Executive Zahilai's executive order establishes the Breaking the Cycle initiative on homelessness. His goal is 500 new affordable housing units in 500 days. It includes a King County-wide housing levy that Zahilai admits may be unpopular but necessary.
We know that there are trade-offs here, but we absolutely have to have a commitment to the people
who are most vulnerable in our community.
Zahalai says the county will look at unused county-owned properties that can be converted into affordable housing and emergency shelters. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Well, you can get money back on e-bikes again with the relaunch of a new state rebate program. It's a lottery system. Anyone 16 or older in Washington state with a working email address can enter for a $300 rebate. If your income is at or below 80% of your county's median income, you can apply for $1,200 off. It won't cover the whole cost since e-bikes usually start around $1,200. Applications are open now. Drawings will take place April 13th. And every second Monday until the money runs out. Copper wire thieves have knocked out the lights at Baker Park in North Seattle. Clark Sheff lives nearby and tells KIRO 7 TV he saw two men getting into utility boxes along Northwest 85th.
The one guy that was at the end over there was probably cutting it, and this guy here was just pulling wires through and just wrapping it around his arm like I see guys doing with extension cords at construction sites, you know?
How much wiring was he getting?
I was thinking at least 100 feet or so. And I asked him, I'm like, so what are you going for? He's like, oh, copper.
Sheff says he called 911 as the two went down the street stealing more wiring, but police never responded. SPD says officers were likely on higher priority calls. And now look at your KIRO News Radio weather. Increasing clouds with a high in the upper 50s. Wednesday's got a lot of rain in the forecast before tapering off Thursday. Overnight lows into the low 40s. 48 and mostly cloudy in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday to you. Jake Skorheim here. Spike O'Neill sitting right there.
Hey, buddy. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, Spike. It is a happy Tuesday. Sunny yesterday. Did you catch some of that sun?
I caught some sun yesterday on my way from the car to my front door. That was plenty.
Got to get your long rays in. It's funny, though, the health stuff that people have access to now. Just like it's new knowledge about things that we've been doing forever. Like, it's generally a good idea to get out into the sun.
Yeah.
Just like good advice.
Yep.
But
Touch
there's science
grass,
behind it.
Breathe air, touch grass, see
breathe
some
air,
sun.
touch grass, all the different stuff.
Yeah. Didn't used to have to be. You just have to tell people it. Didn't used to have to prescribe.
You're right.
Sunlight to people.
Back in the old days, people were just outside, and now you don't leave your house. I mean, not you personally, but like people don't leave their house, and so now they have to tell them, like, hey, it's actually a good idea to be outside for 5 minutes.
Well, we work, we commute, we get home. You know, there's not a lot of free time in the modern schedule. You know.
Well, people don't prioritize the right way.
Fair point.
They waste a ton of time.
Yeah.
You want to find some free time? Go look at your screen time on your phone. Find out how much time you spend staring at that stupid thing. Tell me you don't have free time.
How's this for an idea? Your phone only works outside. Solar powered, if you will.
Interesting. But then you have to give your phone permission to. Actually, it already has. It follows you everywhere.
Sure do.
Yeah, you can't get away from it.
If you sit on your couch, your phone don't work.
Airplane mode. That's a fun thing. Do you ever airplane mode? Do you feel here? Okay, this is stupid. We'll get in. We have a lot of stuff to get to today, which we will in just a second. We'll get
It's a relevant story to our first story. It's pretty relevant to this. It's about surveillance. It's about knowing where people are.
True.
Right?
True. Yeah, I guess in a roundabout way, it is. Quick tease, Rob McKenna, former AG, he's going to come on with us. He's leading the efforts to get this income tax thing sent away.
He's going to lead the charge to contest it in the courts.
He's going to be on at 1 p.m., so tune in for that. And then also at 2 p.m., we're going to talk to Andrea Suarez from WeHeart Seattle, who she was making this video the other day. She goes around, she helps homeless people all the time. She's trying to help people get off the streets. God bless her. She's doing a great job at it. And she went to this one location where they have a bunch of these little tiny houses set up. She found out that one of the tiny houses had been set up and designated, and taxpayer-funded dollars, designated as a fentanyl smoking area.
Right.
Not legal. You're not supposed to do that. Bad idea. And so the response to her was, oh, man, we're going to fix the problem. No. The response to her was, you're banned. You can't even be here anymore.
So they said, you'll never see that again.
Yeah.
They weren't saying they were going to clean it up.
We don't want you to see that again.
Right.
So we'd like you to stop looking.
Right.
She'll be on with us at 2 o'clock to talk about that and what happens now that we have seen on the other side of that curtain. But we'll get into all that in a second. What were we saying a second ago about
being outside?
Being
being in the sun, about your phone being solar charged.
Oh, do you ever feel like a small sense of accomplishment when you switch into airplane mode? Like you're accomplishing something good for the day? And it almost to the same level as like whenever I do any kind of workout, I think to myself, yeah,
I've done something good for myself.
I've done something good for myself.
I'd have to switch it in airplane mode to know how that feels. I don't know if I've ever done that.
What?
Honestly,
even
don't know.
on an airplane?
But that's doesn't the plane do it for me?
No.
Okay, I didn't know that.
No, you got to switch into airplane mode.
Because
they tell you if you don't switch into airplane mode, the plane won't go. Explain that one.
I just recently stopped trying to dial my phone like with a circular dial. I'm making progress.
That is a cool app, by the way. Do they have that app? Do they have a dial? Do they have a rotary dial app?
That's touch triggered.
Just gave away one of our $1 million ideas. Dang it. Does that already exist? It probably already exists.
I'm sure it does. Let's do a search.
Do rotary dial.
That's not
app. All right. Speaking of surveillance, let's get into some stuff here. Governor Ferguson just signed 3 new bills. The reason I want to talk about this is because this has given me, I think, a very good idea.
That's all you get.
That's what we're doing here. We're trying to present to you guys good ideas. We'll get into that in just a second. But I think this provides a little bit of a entry point into what I think could be very advantageous for a lot of people.
Great.
And I think they're going to enjoy it. And a big complaint that we talk about on the show a lot, I think can be addressed under some of these things that Governor Ferguson has just signed. Let me play you some audio of him signing some bills. He's been signing a lot of bills lately. One of them was the income tax, unconstitutional. Quick side note about the income tax, by the way. Again, we're going to talk about this with Rob McKenna. Let's say from a PR perspective, because a lot of people are upset about this, as they should be. From a PR perspective, you're sitting there, you're in the state, wherever they're at, the rotunda, literally an echo chamber, and they're surrounded by all these people who want this income tax.
Mm-hmm.
And they're calling it a millionaire's tax, but we all know better. And a tax is still a tax. I mean, it is a new tax. They're introducing a new tax. Taxes, we all generally agree, are not something that a ton of us like. We pay them because we understand that they're a necessity.
Necessary evil, yeah.
You got to pay for roads. You got to pay for local swimming pools, things like that you have to do.
Fire department, police.
Fire department, all that stuff. All the
civilization.
necessities.
Taxation is the price we pay for civilization.
Sure. To a point.
But
then there's a point where you're overtaxed and you say, you know what? You can take this civilization, you can shove it. And the funny thing to me is when you have completely lost sight of that. Not you. I mean, Ferguson in this case.
Sure.
Ferguson and Peterson and all the different people who are standing at their
I
podium.
think it's Pedersen, but go on.
Is it Pedersen?
I think so.
Nate told us yesterday it was Pedersen, and I think he might be right. Yeah. Pedersen. Jenkins and whoever all the other people were that were part of this. You're standing there, and you do this thing that is going to be challenged in court, unconstitutional, all these different things. And thunderous applause, and you're cheering over a tax.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't that be looked at as kind of like oh man, this really sucks that we got to do this. We don't want to have to do this because obviously we don't want anybody. They're trying to vilify millionaires as if they're bad people or something.
Yeah.
Why cheering? Why are you cheering? That's the thing. That's the part to me. You don't have to answer that question. It's just more of like I'm tossing it out there.
I think I'd write off the tone deafness to the mood of their constituency and the struggles that they're in.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking at it like the other side is your enemy, not your partner.
That's a mistake.
If business owners are vilified, not the driving engine of an economy, then you're going to pop champagne. And I still think the goggles keep the champagne out of their eyes. Probably a smart idea, but not a good look. Okay?
The confetti. Do they need the confetti? The brass band. Do they need the brass band?
It's a bad look.
Obviously, those are jokes. They didn't have those things. But, yes, to me, it was all kind of the same thing. All the cheering. I was like, why are they cheering? I don't understand the cheering. This is a bad sign. If the justification for the tax is, they say it's regressive, blah, blah, blah. But
it means their messaging, they feel their messaging is working. They feel that if this goes to a public vote, as was it Brian Haywood yesterday said he's going to start the initiative process to put this a referendum to put this on a ballot in November.
Yes,
they think they're going to win that. They think they're going to win that election. They really do. They think they're going to win. They're going to get. They think 60% of people will vote for a millionaire's tax.
How is it possible that they are so sure of themselves that they would all stand there and cheer? I mean, that would have been the day where I would have been like, hey, guys, let's do a mask mandate for inside right now, just for 5 minutes so nobody can see our faces.
See who's cheering.
As we sign this thing. I don't want anybody to remember who we were.
You could always say you were frowning.
As he's handing out pens, I would have been hiding in the back like, I don't need a pen. I don't need a pen. Don't give me a pen.
I'm good.
I don't want to have my name on that. Please, no. He's like, come on up here. Get your pen. Pedersen, where are you?
Where are you, Pedersen? Why are so many extra pens?
Nobody want these pens? I got free pens. Anyway, all right, we'll talk about all that at 1 o'clock. Lots of fun stuff. Here was one of the bills, 3 bills that he signed regarding ICE and handing over information to federal government. Here's a little bit from Governor Ferguson. Was this just yesterday he signed these? I believe it was just yesterday. Yes. Here we go.
We're living in a challenging time. on a range of issues, but I think it's fair to say at the top of those challenging issues is what's going on with ICE. And it's really my honor to sign this legislation.
So 3 different laws. One of them had to do with license plate cameras. Another one had to do with
workplace inspections.
And then another one was shared leave, which we should get into in just a second. It's an interesting topic, shared leave. But let's get into the license plate camera thing for a second. According to this piece in King 5, says the first law bans cities and companies from sharing data from Flock, automatic license plate reader cameras, with ICE. Supporters say the cameras, which are used widely across Washington, have become a tool for federal agents can exploit to track undocumented residents. State Rep Yasmin Trudeau says what happens when the rules are not followed is clear enforcement through private right of action and through the Attorney General's Consumer Protection Authority against the company itself. So these would be with companies who are
providing these cameras and gathering this data.
And it got me thinking, I'm like, they have a real aversion to flock cameras right now, license plate readers, things like that.
Yeah.
Which down in Pierce County, did you see this down in Pierce County? Pierce County put out this press release.
Yeah, I saw the sheriff's office put out a release.
What's his name? Swank.
Swank
said this is from the sheriff's office. The Pierce County Sheriff's Office announces this immediate deactivation of automatic license plate readers, ALPR's system, commonly known as flock cameras, in response to recent signing of the Driver Privacy Act by Bob Ferguson, which we just played you a little bit of audio of. He goes on to say the legislation passed by the Washington State Legislature earlier this month establishes strict new regulations governing the use of ALPR technology by law enforcement agencies. Among its provisions, the law prohibits use of license plate readers in the proximity of community locations, including hospitals, schools, and other protected areas. Violations of these restrictions carry significant legal consequences, including classification as a gross misdemeanor for individual officers. So he's basically saying, we don't know how the law, how this is going to affect officers. This puts them in danger.
Yeah, because they really can't delineate in real time if cameras are within these restricted areas of schools and hospitals.
Yes.
And if an officer uses information from a flock camera, not be able to check in real time if it's in violation of those restrictions.
He doesn't want his officers.
Yeah, puts his guys in legal
his deputies,
jeopardy.
I should say in this case. He doesn't want his deputies in legal trouble. So they are stopping the tool. He says at this time there's no available technology or capability that allows the office to ensure that the cameras can reliably differentiate, just like you described.
Yeah.
I understand this. This makes sense.
Makes perfect sense.
It is a shame because these cameras are very quick ways of identifying stolen vehicles.
Yeah, there's useful elements. Absolutely.
Very useful elements of these. Yeah. He says the loss of this tool is a significant setback for public safety in our community. This technology has been instrumental in locating missing persons, including silver alert cases, which I hadn't even thought about, which is interesting.
Sure.
Identifying stolen vehicles and apprehending dangerous offenders. Without it, our ability to respond quickly and effectively is diminished. Now, I imagine as this is now just law as of yesterday. I don't know when I believe that the traffic cam ones, that the license plate ones goes into effect immediately.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones are not until I don't believe October.
And that would be Everett, Linwood. They've also stopped using this services for the same reason.
Yeah, and I think Seattle said they're not going to expand anymore. They have current ones in, but they're not going to expand the service anymore. And one, it is a shame that it would stop the use of things that do help.
Yeah, the upside of these things are going to be inhibited by this lack of use of these. But it's about states' rights. It's about Governor Ferguson saying these are the priorities for the citizens of Washington who voted this group into office, and that the federal immigration policies that this information would benefit. We don't share that.
Yeah,
because our state priorities are otherwise, and that's kind of where the crossroads meet here on this issue. Does ICE and immigration enforcement in general have access to private information of Washington citizens?
Let me ask you this question.
Sure.
Given all that, and I, it's law now. I understand. At least I understand the argument. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand the argument. What is the number one where do we capture the most pictures of license plates in the entire state?
Intersections?
By far. No.
No? Work zones?
Toll roads.
Oh, okay. Toll roads.
State toll roads.
Sure. Well, yeah, sure.
We're capturing license plates.
Sure you are.
Day and night.
Yeah, and then I know they got my address. I keep getting the bills in the mail.
And where are they processing those pictures? Texas.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it's an out-of-state service, and they just run it for free. They
Dallas.
Yeah, and they run it, administrate it, and send the state, whatever municipality they work in, state, city, county, a portion of the proceeds.
WashDOT runs part of it. They run part of it. There's some back office stuff that they run, because it's their system that they put in, and it's a massive system. There's been a lot of arguments, actually. A lot of people were like, hey, why are you guys sending all this money out of state? Why are you allowing somebody else to collect all this money from these toll cameras? And I'm just thinking to myself, like, is that safe for people? If Governor Ferguson's objecting to license plates being used, is that safe? Because they are capturing license plates all the time. And it's like early morning. It's a late, early evening.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I think they should look into that. And I think they should shut that system down immediately.
Shut the toll system down?
Well, here's what I think, honestly. And I'm not being tongue-in-cheek here. I mean, it's meeting an end that I want, which is I think the tolls are horrible.
Elimination of tolls.
I want the tolls gone. But also, if they're going to use this as law and they're going to say we're trying to protect drivers in Washington State from the federal government, they can't decide what's happening in Texas. They can't decide how that information is being used. That's a private company it's going to. And they made very clear here that they're going to make sure that every time a private company does something like this, there's rules that have to be followed, clearly enforced. And my thing is, why don't you look at the number one thing that's taking pictures of license plates in our state? And if you're not willing to look at that, it's because they like the dollars that are coming in, right?
Possibly. Do we know that there's no limitations on?
I don't know.
Okay.
And I think they've now opened the door to the question.
Yeah, no, it's a valid question to ask. And if it's about privacy, it's about the sovereignty of states' rights.
If it's about the privacy and you're sending all of our pictures to Texas and they have a big problem with that.
If Texas is a clearinghouse for information that's gathered by these services of toll roads and various other camera-operated functions.
I think they should shut those toll roads down immediately until they can guarantee that those are safe. I got a lot of text messages from people about this. They said, do we know that those toll roads are safe? These are just questions that I'm asking.
Okay.
Obviously, I don't have the answer to all these washed-out questions. I'm sure Governor Ferguson has thought of this already.
Well, let's reach out to the governor and say, do we know? Do you know that the information being shared with this organization?
Can we send an email to the governor's office and say, do we know for a fact that this information is safe? Because if it's not, I think it would be responsible of him.
Open the email with, hey, congratulations on your new income tax, just so we get him off on the right foot. And then say, do we know? Give it no, because we're coming in under cover of...
You catch more flies with honey?
Sure, you're going to get him to read it. The subject line says, say, congratulations on the extra dough.
Yeah.
Right, and say, hey, since privacy has become a paramount concern of this legislative session, do we know that we're not giving up our fellow citizens?
Yes. And I think a temporarily closing down until they can guarantee the safety of our Washingtonian residents and whoever it is.
You're thinking about the little man.
I'm trying to protect the people here, Spike. Because you know what?
So many people,
every single day you're driving under there. How many scanners do you drive in on 405 or 167?
12, probably, if I had to guess.
So I was commuting at one point. I was commuting under like 13 of them.
Oh, wow.
13 pictures of my license plate being taken? No, thank you. I can't guarantee the safety of that. And I hope the governor can. And if he can't, it's the responsible thing for them to shut it down, even if it's just temporary. Now, listen, if there's a small loss of money coming into WashDOT and the state, which dramatically needs the money because we have the we have the 47th worst roads in the entire country. I know they need the money, but listen, you better not put that above the safety of the citizens that you're trying to protect.
You bet.
Absolutely. Privacy above all else.
Right, sure.
So what they need to do is they need to shut that down.
Yeah.
Is that unreasonable? I don't think it's unreasonable.
I think it's a very clever way to find out what's actually going on with our information.
I think so.
And to make sure that these policies are uniformly applied across the state. Which is the underlying problem with the income tax, but we'll get to that at 1 o'clock.
And you know what? If it costs them a little bit of money in the meantime, and it's a little bit less money out of my pocket, so be it. I'm willing to suffer that.
You are.
I am willing to suffer that.
If it means for all of us.
It's about everyone in Washington. I'm trying to save you money.
With you, buddy.
Isn't that a?
That's great. It's very, very, very compassionately well thought out.
People know I'm a compassionate guy. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Sure. It's right there. All right, we have a lot more coming up. Stick around. Not going to want to miss a second of it. What are we doing next? I have a show sheet here. I can tell you that.
We could talk about the governor's. He's not speaking up about potentially pausing the CCA. Yeah. We could talk about what happened on Mercer Island.
Oh, my gosh. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Mercer Island's got a train now. Let's check and see how that's going. We'll be right back.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. April showers bring May. Oh, who am I kidding? We live in Western Washington. The only thing April showers bring are clogged and overflowing gutters, which can damage your home from your roof to your foundation. Fortunately, my friends at Valentine Roofing, they're ready to come to your rescue. Right now, you can bundle and save 10% off your entire job when you add new gutters to any new roofing project. Plus, Valentine offers gutter guards to help keep leaves and needles out for good, which gives you an additional layer of defense against clogged and overflowing gutters. Having Valentine out at my house and seeing their professionalism and attention to detail, it's no surprise they were awarded the 2025 Gold for Best Roofing Company and Silver for Best Gutter Company by the Seattle Times Best in the Pacific Northwest Awards. You deserve the best, too. So schedule your free roofing and gutter estimate today to bundle and save 10%. You can call 206-ROOFING. That's 206-ROOFING. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Insulation rebates from PSC are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSC insulation rebates last year, more than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSC trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can save on replacing your insulation.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Voted best of Western Washington. Ranked #1 senior living community in America. Aegis Living, Washington's most luxurious assisted living and memory care. Schedule a tour today at aegisliving.com/KIRO and get a special take-home gift. Aegis Living. This must be the place.
You didn't work hard to watch your retirement unravel. You saved, you sacrificed, you built something meaningful for yourself and for your family. Hi, I'm elder law attorney Rajiv Nagaich. I've seen what happens when unexpected health events collide with traditional retirement plans. Savings that took decades to build drains away faster than anyone expected. At LifePoint Law, we help you build a life plan to help you protect your assets and way of life. If you are retired or thinking about retiring, now is the time to double-check your retirement plan.
Retirement doesn't have to feel like a gamble. With straightforward planning and clear answers, LifePoint Law replaces fear with clarity, but only if you start now. Attend the next seminar this Saturday in Bothell, April 7th in Bremerton, the 9th in Olympia, or the 11th in Federal Way. Seats are limited. Sign up now at lifepointlaw.com. Visit lifepointlaw.com.
Join the conversation and text your favorite show on the KIRO News Radio text line at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy 1 Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Participation may vary.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Every day, students stay after school for sports, clubs, and tutoring, many on empty stomachs.
Safeway and Champions of Change offer grants for after-school meal programs. Schools apply by April 1st at championsofchangefoundation.org and click Nourishing Champions.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. A new law is now on the books regulating automated license plate readers used by law enforcement.
And so now it's my honor to sign this legislation into the law, Senate Bill 6002.
It's a controversial one opposed by law enforcement but supported by immigration advocates. The bill limits data retention for 21 days. Cameras can't be used near protected places like schools or places of worship. Now the Pierce County Sheriff has announced he's deactivating their automated license plate readers because he says they're now useless. A police chase became a frantic rescue in Kent. KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas explains.
Police there called to the Safeway on Washington Avenue for reports that someone was assaulting the manager. A nearby sergeant went over, crossing paths with that suspect as he was driving off, so the sergeant started to follow. The suspect blowing through stop sticks, deflating his tires, but then wound up blasting through a fence and down a steep embankment where his mangled car caught fire. Officers scrambling down to rescue that man who was trapped inside his car. The doors were crushed shut by the crash and all of the airbags deployed. Puget Sound firefighters managed to cut the guy out. Remarkably, he wasn't badly hurt.
When he's released from the hospital, he's expected to face charges including DUI, eluding, and assault. The Seahawks are heading to HBO for the first time ever. Seattle will be featured on Hard Knocks. The NFL Network reports the announcement came Monday night at the league's annual meeting. The show follows an NFL team through training camp and has been on the air since 2001. According to our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports, the Seahawks have avoided it for years because teams that made the playoffs recently didn't have to take part. The New England Patriots are set to appear on the show in 2027. Another vacancy is about to hit Seattle's business district. The Columbia Towers Club is closing its doors after 4 decades. The members-only restaurant offers fine dining with sweeping views from the 76th floor of the Columbia Towers. The club released in a statement citing they will continue operating at the Collective, their primary club at South Lake Union. The Columbia Towers Club final day is April 30th. On Wall Street, stocks are rallying big time. The Dow up 1,080, S&P 500 up nearly 180, and NASDAQ up 775. And now check out your KIRO News Radio traffic. Continue looking good out there. North 5 in Seattle has our biggest holdups. We've got a solid backup from the West Seattle Bridge just past I-90, and then another one starting just past Mercer across the Ship Canal Bridge. 15 minutes to get through downtown. South 5 is wide open, and we do have a new blocking issue, North 5 in Mid-Boeing Field. This one blocks your right lane. And now your KIRO News Radio weather. Our final day of March has increasing clouds and a high around 57. Tomorrow's going to be a soaker in 51. Back into the sun on Thursday. 48 and mostly cloudy in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. Spike, you gotta help me with the timeline on this.
Sure.
I don't remember things good. How long has Mercer Island had a light rail? How long has that station been open? They were supposed to get it, what, a couple years ago?
Well, 6 years. I
don't know when the connection was supposed to connect.
I know we can count when it opened in hours. Quite literally.
What?
In hours. 70. Oh. Almost 72 hours ago to the minute, maybe 74 hours ago. Saturday, right? Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning.
Saturday morning. Okay.
Saturday morning, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe 2 hours more, and then 72, 3 days. That would be Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Here we are Tuesday.
So not many days, not many hours.
No.
Okay. Well, that makes this even more concerning. This is, if you talk to anybody from Mercer Island, I don't know if you have talked to anybody from Mercer Island.
I got friends on Poverty Rock.
Yeah, boy, what a sad place to have to live.
They're struggling.
They struggle.
It's a struggle, a day-to-day struggle.
Isolated.
Sure.
Thankfully, they have a train.
They look over at Seattle in the distance, the Jewel, the Emerald City.
Oh,
they pine.
If we could have
for
more
us.
of that
they do.
over here.
Sure.
Well, what I can tell you is
they look at ungraffitied walls and they moan. They weep.
Yeah, because they're like,
they wish.
Why can't we get a Banksy over here making nice art?
Go on.
My anecdotal discussions with people I can share anecdotally is that they were not super enthusiastic about having light rail arrive on the island because they were worried, what if some of the things that Seattle has unfortunately become known for find their way over onto, because Mercer Island is a and obviously for people who don't know the island, you and I are joking. It is very nice.
It's wonderful.
It's a wonderful,
beautiful. I've got a friend who works there.
Yeah.
Is not allowed to live there yet, but he works there.
Well, if he makes enough money, I'm sure they'll allow him.
There's a threshold.
It's a very nice place, and they care deeply about public safety.
Oh yeah,
and they care deeply about. It's a very family oriented place.
Oh, absolutely.
They want to, it's a
great schools, great services,
everything,
and they pay a pretty penny to have these amenities. You bet.
Yes.
And they value them and want to keep them safe.
So here's some dispatch audio. How long did it take before somebody OD'd on the new Mercer Island station? I'm going to play some audio for you here. This was March 29th. So this would have been, is this day one? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Is this day one?
Yeah.
That's soon. That's very soon. Even I wouldn't have said that. But this was this came to us. It's been posted numerous places online. We did reach out to Mercer Island Police Department, and there was a whole FOIA request process that we would not have hit in time for the show. So we're playing you audio that we received through different online sources. But as near as we can check, this is a real thing. Listen to this.
10-3, 2-10, Bucks, the light rail. It'll be at the light rail, Mercer Island Station, 2510, 27th Avenue Southeast. Will be located on the platform. It started at this time. Man is 30, is Narcan administered. Fire started at this time, subject now saying he doesn't need any medical help.
So somebody ODs. Thankfully, they are given Narcan in time. They survive, thank God.
Not a fatality.
Not a fatality. Right. The individual apparently declines any further medical assistance.
That's just their right to do.
And goes along their way, wherever that way was. But
off on to Bellevue, I imagine, right back on the train and heading over eventually toward Redmond.
Maybe they caught the train back. Who
Sure,
knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. But the point is, if I'm living on Mercer Island and that's your fear and it is realized on day one, this does not bode well for the system.
Well, this OD was not the one and only incident on day one. There was already instances of people coming on and trespassing on the island because I don't know how they clarify what is trespassing on the island. Getting off at the Mercer Island stop.
I think anybody who goes on to Mercer Island who doesn't live there is trespassing.
Well, I hope it's not that strict.
No, I'm just kidding.
But seriously, they had people public drug use.
Yeah.
And trespassing, which is, I guess, someone without a purpose to be there, coming off the train first day. You remember when the story broke that the Cross Lake link was gonna come to realization there that Bellevue's police department was going to step up and put officers in place to make sure
a whole new officers strictly to deal with the light rail stuff.
I think Mercer Island's naive to think that's not going to be a requirement in their community if you're going to have an access road. Or
I was under the impression that they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's how they found what they found.
But how do you? But how do you stop that? You can't stop it. This is what's coming. This is why people like myself and like many other people find a lot of. It makes me very nervous. These trains. We had that other story. You saw this other story at the Northgate station. This
this is a horrible story.
Scared the heck out of me. It confirmed something, which is why I don't ride these trains.
Yeah,
I have ridden them for games, for sporting events, and I'm not riding them a lot of other times.
Hey, I got a kid.
Neither is anyone else.
I got a kid who uses these trains on a regular basis.
Well, this story probably scared the crap out of you.
You think? Of course it did.
Let me give you some details here. 26-year-old guy. He's been charged with attempted second-degree murder after prosecutors say, this KIRO News story has this, but everybody's got the story now. Prosecutors say that he was standing on one of these platforms and was waiting for one of these trains to come by and then attempted multiple times to shove somebody in the path of these trains. Now, these are like nightmarish type things that we see happen in New York and the subway system. You've seen those videos that are just terrifying.
It's the stuff of movies, and it's horror.
Here's the thing. For anybody who hasn't been in New York in the last 20 years, if you're unaware of how their system works, if you go down into the subway now, do you know how people, they used to stand, they just sort of wait right by the track because you want to be on the train because they're busy.
Yeah.
people now stand back so there's nobody behind them, and they all stand with their backs to the wall.
To the wall. Yeah, they do.
That is a terrifying dystopian version of public transit, that you can't even stand without being worried of being shoved onto the tracks. And I guess I was naive, and I didn't even think that this would happen here so quickly. I mean, I thought maybe eventually if it becomes very, very popular and it's just being ridden by so many people, like in New York, for instance.
Yeah,
I think
it's a common occurrence everyday life. That
I think
people
almost
use
half the population who lives in the city uses the trains to get around because they don't really have cars. I mean, they do, but they don't, you know what I mean? It's not the same.
It's the first choice for most New Yorkers.
For a
is the
lot of
subway.
people.
And it's the same way in Chicago, same way in Boston, same way in San Francisco.
A lot of public transit.
Yeah, and we're relatively new to the mass transit lifestyle mentality.
Well, we're also built differently. The city's built differently.
Yeah.
We're way more spread out. You're talking about, like, if you look at New York, it's a very condensed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't make sense to have a car. But whatever, percentage-wise, we would not nearly as many people are going to ever ride a train here in Washington. But I thought it would be longer before we're shoving people onto the tracks, and it's terrifying.
I wish I could say the same. I didn't think it would. I didn't think we're immune from it. Maybe.
Sure.
I didn't put a timeline on it, but when you got mental health crises and drug addiction crises like we have in this city, and you have people who are forced to. You know, not forced to. They live the life they're choosing to live, or their addiction is forcing them to live. We're going to have these kind of moments.
Here's the problem with this story. It gets even worse when you look at the guy's record. A couple years ago, he was arrested. I'm going to read you some more of these details here. He has this troubling history, according to the Como story here. And
this is the man who tried to shove someone into the path of an oncoming train.
This was the 26-year-old who was
charged with attempted
arrested
murder.
And charged with attempted second-degree murder. Surveillance footage showed the suspect appeared to time the attack, this is all from Como, to coincide with the train's arrival, quote, making it clear that his goal was to inflict maximum harm. That's what the prosecutors wrote. He then fled from the station. He ran away. They were able to identify him, thank God, with cameras, which you read all the news stories. They're trying to get rid of cameras. They don't want to catch people anymore because they say it's invasion of privacy, but they found this guy, thank God, and they tracked him back to the care facility where he was living. And found out he has a prior, very serious allegation. No, they have a prior case. In 2019, a domestic violence assault charge involving an alleged incident where his sister was stabbed in the stomach. The case was eventually dismissed 2 years later in 21 when he was found not competent to stand trial. He was then, I believe...
But competent enough to be sent to a care facility.
Well, they sent him to Western State.
Yeah. For what, 3 years?
For where he was going to be monitored and watched. And then through some process of completing whatever, he's given to a less full-time facility where he has a little more freedoms. And then here we find this guy, allegedly, he's been arrested for it, and he'll now stand trial. But trying to shove somebody, second-degree murder, that's what scares me.
Well, I don't blame you. It's horrifying. But what can we do about this? I mean, there are processes in place. Because not everybody's going to be at this extreme of a failure of the system to note and treat mental illness.
Here's what they're going to do. If they're going to ask people to trust the system, they should do what Bellevue and Mercer Island are doing. You need a cop at every single platform. Why can't they do that? You know how much money they have to spend? They're spending $165 billion building this thing, or $185 billion.
Yeah.
You can afford a cop at every platform. Just the deterrence of a police officer is massively helpful. That guy runs up, and he sees a cop standing there, you think he's not going to think twice about doing some crazy thing?
No, I think you're right. Police presence.
Put a police presence there.
Yeah.
Also,
every stop, every line.
Let's not be. Yes.
No, I'm with you.
If you can, well, listen. If you can't make it safe for people, then why are you asking them to ride it?
Right. You're convincing these folks to take this ride 100%. With you.
Yeah. I would prefer a cop on every train.
I would too.
Just put a cop on every train. We're always talking about how there's not enough police officers, and they say there's like a bunch of money to hire new cops. Put them on the trains.
There you go.
Why not? That's just a good idea.
It is a good idea.
You and I are just giving out good ideas for free.
Hey, we're just trying to make it a better city.
We're trying to make it a better place for you. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. Speaking of a better place, there's a company. There's a few local versions of this now. It's a dining establishment, and one ingenious owner of one of these franchises started doing something which I believe is one of the best ideas I've ever seen in a fast food restaurant.
Free condiments.
It's not free condiments.
Oh, I wish somebody would.
They've had that for a bit.
No, they charge everywhere.
Really?
It's horrible.
We'll talk about it next. Stick around.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. I want you to finish this phrase for me. April showers bring May clogged and overflowing gutters. However, Valentine Roofing has you covered. Right now, you can bundle and save 10% off your entire job when you add new gutters to any new roofing project. Plus, with flexible financing available and payments as low as $159 a month, Valentine makes it easy. So schedule your free roofing, gutter, and estimate today to bundle and save 10%. Just call 206-ROOFING. That's 206-ROOFING.
Ever wonder how much energy it takes to power your life? Streaming shows, running appliances, even using AI to plan your next trip?
A lot, and it's growing fast.
So we need more energy, and it has to be clean and reliable.
Exactly. That's why Energy Northwest is exploring new ways to keep power flowing sustainably to meet the rising demand.
All this new technology is exciting, but we need the energy to keep up.
And Energy Northwest is making it happen.
Where do I learn more?
Energy-Northwest.com.
Energy Northwest, powering our clean energy future.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home and auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm here with Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. And Wes, you were just telling me you think 2026 is going to be a rebound year for the housing market.
That's right. I think we're heading into the best real estate market of the past 4 years. And here's why. If you take a step back and look at the big picture, experts are anticipating a 15% increase in sales volume next year. Interest rates are at near 3-year lows and trending down, and home prices have held near all-time highs. There is a lot of pent-up demand. People have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for their time to jump into the market since 2022, and they need a place to buy.
So, hey, 2026 might be your year. If you're considering selling your home, if you're thinking about moving, but there was something that was just holding you back, now might be a great time. So do this. Go to sellwithwes.com. You can see your home's real value there with Wes's home value calculator. Then schedule an appointment by giving him a call. Sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com. It really just is a better way to sell your home.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Are you in pain? Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hi, everybody. It's John Curley. Before you make that decision, I recommend you see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I did, and it's been a game changer. My doctor took a look at my x-rays and said, well, looks like you need a whole new hip. And then he said, wait, how old are you? And I told him, and then he said, well, wait, you're too young for a hip. You're just going to have to, live with the pain. We'll see you in 3 years. It was horrible. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Now through March 31st, Lake Washington Windows and Doors is paying your sales tax, plus offering easy zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for 12 months. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com today and save the sales tax.
At Madrona Financial and CPAs, we believe financial decisions should be made with clarity, not sales pressure. That's why we host weekly educational seminars and live webinars on retirement planning, tax strategies, and rental property decisions, designed to help you think more strategically about your future. Whether you prefer attending in person or joining from home, there's always something coming up. To see our upcoming schedule, visit madronafinancial.com. Madrona Financial and CPAs. Informed planning starts here. Madrona Financial Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.
All right, welcome back to the show. I found this very, very encouraging, and I think you will too. Chick-fil-A. I thought this was a national campaign, but I was reading more into the story, and this is actually just an enterprising Chick-fil-A restaurant franchisee who did this. A guy named Brad Williams has 2 Chick-fil-A restaurants. These are in Georgia, and he decided he was going to create an opportunity for people to enjoy food in Chick-fil-A and to enjoy each other's company and not their cell phones. And so he did a really smart thing, I think. He created something called the cell phone coop. Get it? Because chickens. And
Genius.
And what you do is basically there's a little sign on the table, and you put your cell phone in one of these chicken coops that sits on the table with you, and it instructs you that if you can successfully do this while you're sitting there eating your meal, then at the end of the meal, you're going to earn a free ice cream cone. And people are taking them up on it. And it's working. And it's just one of those stupid things that you don't think about. It's so easy to take. We talk about this all the time on the show. We were talking earlier in the show about airplane mode. It's very easy because we have this little dopamine thing that delivers it to us anytime we want it. We just pull it out of our pocket, take a little peek of our phone real fast.
Bet.
And so he's decided, like, what if we just got people out of that mindset and encourage them through reward?
Got them, and it's a shame you have to reward them, but that's who we are as a species.
Yeah.
It's a fabulous idea, and the idea behind it, the thought behind it is wonderful, to reconnect with the people that you're sitting with. The reason you're out dining together,
yes,
is to be with your family and friends and enjoy a meal.
Yeah,
sitting down, and you can't get off your phone. And it's a symptom of who we are as a culture, and that's the attention. What's the word for? Marketplace.
Yeah,
the attention currency. Everybody wants our attention, and these systems are built to attack and trap.
They're addictive.
They really are.
How many millions of stories about how they're actually built to be addictive?
I love this. Do you ever do the thing when you go to lunch with people? Everyone puts their phone down, face down. And whoever looks at their phone first gets the check.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I've been in numerous lunches.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really smart.
And that's a fear-based motivator.
Well, yeah, you don't want to have to pay for everybody's food.
Exactly.
Here's what it says. Here, these little chicken coop things on the table. They say how the challenge works. Number 1, you turn all family cell phones to silent, and then you place it in this coop. Number 2, enjoy your meal and each other distraction-free. And number 3, after the meal, you let us know that you have successfully completed this challenge, and each of you are basically going to get like a little treat. You all get a little treat.
For each phone, not one to split.
Yeah, for each person, I believe.
Because that's really a good thing.
You all have to take the same, you have to like share an ice cream cone. I don't think that's going to work as much.
But,
so he says that he rolled this out, and now all these other restaurants, 200 other independent Chick-fil-A operators have caught on, and they said, hey, this is a great idea. We should also start doing this. And what's cool is that you're seeing, this is not a national campaign, although if they were smart, they're getting credit for it.
But say it's coming.
If they're smart, they should roll it out nationally.
It's coming, you bet.
And I think
it's a good idea not to.
Other restaurants should do this too, because it shows. I mean, it's such a brilliant marketing idea because it shows that the priority is twofold: good service in there, and the experience that you're having.
Sure.
Everything is about the experience you're having. You want it to be good food. You want it to be good with the people. You want it to be a nice, clean environment.
Sure.
Where you're not having to be distracted by these stupid phones. It's genius.
It
It's a
is
very good
genius.
idea.
I love this idea. It'll come everywhere. And you ever see you've seen Chick-fil-A TV commercials?
Yeah.
They often feature their restaurant owners and their customers with real life stories about how they changed lives. You're going to see this one.
Yeah.
On a Chick-fil-A national campaign, and it's going to go national. And you're right, it's going to spread across other operations.
Good thinking, Brad. Very smart. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Rob McKenna is going to join us next on the show live. We're going to talk about this income tax and what he is doing to make sure that it never happens. Crossing our fingers. We'll talk to him next. Stick around.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait, and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You didn't work hard to watch your retirement unravel. You saved, you sacrificed, you built something meaningful for yourself and for your family. Hi, I'm elder law attorney Rajiv Nagaj. I've seen what happens when unexpected health events collide with traditional retirement plans. Savings that took decades to build drains away faster than anyone expected. At LifePoint Law, we help you build a life plan to help you protect your assets and way of life. If you are retired or thinking about retiring, now is the time to double-check your retirement plan.
Retirement doesn't have to feel like a gamble. With straightforward planning and clear answers, LifePoint Law replaces fear with clarity, but only if you start now. Attend the next seminar this Saturday in Bothell, April 7th in Bremerton, the 9th in Olympia, or the 11th in Federal Way. Seats are limited. Sign up now at lifepointlaw.com. Visit lifepointlaw.com.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Seattle without using your own money? You'll learn to flip houses and secure rental properties in your spare time to get on track towards real wealth building. we're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Seattle for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text INVEST to 64,000. Seattle is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Seattle and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text INVEST to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text INVEST to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text INVEST to 64,000.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour. Your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. 2 legal setbacks for President Trump. CBS's Linda Kenyon with the first.
A federal judge has granted a temporary injunction requested by the National Trust for Historic Preservation to suspend construction of the $400 million ballroom pending independent reviews and approval from Congress. Exempt are areas necessary for safety and security of the White House. President Trump began construction without seeking input from the National Capital Planning Commission and the Commission of Fine Arts, and then filled the boards with political allies. In his ruling, the judge said the president is a steward of the White House, not its owner. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
A federal judge has moved to permanently block the Trump administration from cutting funding for NPR and the public broadcasting service. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
A judge ruled President Trump's executive order to cease the funding was unlawful and unenforceable. And he said the First Amendment does not tolerate viewpoint discrimination and retaliation of this type. Trump said last year he wanted to defund NPR and PBS because he believed they were biased.
Well, stocks surged on optimism over a possible U.S.-Iran truce today. The Dow has closed up over 1,000 points, and the Nasdaq has closed up 3.8%. The war with Iran is pushing oil and gas prices up, creating widespread financial strain on U.S. drivers, food delivery drivers, and farmers. AAA says average U.S. gas prices have crossed the $4 per gallon mark for the first time since 2022. For these drivers in Chicago and Washington, D.C.,
it's just ridiculous. I got 10 gallons for $50. It's just this whole war situation. It's just causing everything to go up.
This is the highest, that I've seen in a very, very long time.
The Army pending an investigation into 2 Apache helicopters that conducted a flyby near the Nashville home of Kid Rock has made a decision. CBS's Eleanor Watson has details.
The U.S. Army has suspended the aircrew of 2 helicopters that flew by Kid Rock's house and over the No Kings protest in Nashville, Tennessee over the weekend while on a training mission. Kid Rock shared videos that went viral on social media of a flyby near his private pool of 2 Apache 64 helicopters that were later identified as being from the 101st Airborne Division out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
The countdown is underway for tomorrow evening's Artemis 2 moon mission. Senior NASA Test Director Jeff Spaulding.
We got launch pad ground system configurations in work. We're doing closeouts in a number of areas. We're doing walkdowns. As we work through the pad to make sure everything is configured for launch.
NASA says there's an 80% chance of favorable weather to launch Artemis 2. Again, stocks closed up on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
The millionaire's tax is already being challenged. More on that straight ahead. But first, your KIRO News Radio traffic brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Looking great out there. The only slowdowns really are right here in Seattle, and they're not bad. North 5, you're going to get heavy at the West Seattle Bridge just past I-90. Very typical. And then again, just past Mercer to the Ship Canal Bridge. All added up. Plan on 20 minutes to get through this. South 5, just a brief backup at the Ship Canal Bridge. You'll enter it near Northeast 50th, and you're in the clear by the time you hit the south end of the bridge. Here's some drive times for you. Seattle to Tacoma, 35 minutes. South Center to Bellevue, 15 minutes. And Bellevue up to Everett will take you 25. Today's the last day. The Lake Washington Windows and Doors will pay your sales tax, plus 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
And good afternoon, I'm Nate Connors. Well, the legal challenge to Washington's millionaire's tax has taken shape. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports former Attorney General Rob McKenna is leading that legal challenge.
McKenna told the John Curley Show his lawsuit will come down to whether the 9.9% tax is constitutional because it targets one group of citizens, in this case, people making more than $1 million a year. And he says lawmakers passed it anyway.
This is the first legislature that said, well, I know I voted and take an oath to uphold the Constitution, but I'm still going to vote for this against the oath that I took, and I'm hoping the state Supreme Court will agree with me that this time is different.
Supporters say the tax will bring in billions for tax credits for families struggling with affordability. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
And Rob McKenna will be joining Jake and Spike here in just moments. A speeding car with 7 teens inside slammed into a tree in Bremerton Saturday, killing one of the boys inside. KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas reports.
And the result is telling. The windshield still embedded in a nearby tree, as according to police, the car going well above the 25-mile-per-hour speed limit. And of the 7 passengers, all males 16 to 18 years old, 17-year-old Bradley Mace was killed, while 4 others sustained serious injury.
It's a blind hill. There's several houses on either side.
Toxicology reports are pending per the Kitsap County Sheriff's Office, but drugs and alcohol, along with reckless driving, may have been contributing factors. Tough for Ivan, a local English teacher and young father himself.
I hate it for him, and I want him to heal.
Well, gas prices keep hitting milestones with no end in sight for increases. The national average is now over $4 a gallon for regular. Washington's average sits at $5.32. Patrick DeHaan is chief petroleum analyst for Gas Buddy.
Americans roughly spending about $8 billion more on gasoline than they did prior to the war. So that's rough back of the envelope calculation.
As for whether records could fall this week?
Well, Washington's already set a new record for diesel. We could get very close to hitting that for gasoline. Of course, when we make these comparisons back to 2022, keep in mind Washington State didn't have the Cap and Invest program. That's why we're setting records this time around. But we certainly could creep a little higher.
He says news of diplomatic talks has helped ease oil markets, but the only thing that will bring prices down significantly will be allowing tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. And now, check out your KIRO News Radio weather. 57, increasing clouds today. We shouldn't see any rain today, but Wednesday's a different story with steady rain all day long and 51 for the high. Right around 40 overnight. Mostly cloudy and 48 over downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. A lot of stuff to get to. We want to jump right to our guest so we don't take up too much of his time. We're very grateful that he's joining us now. Former Washington State Attorney General Rob McKenna joins us. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So let's dive right in. Let's talk income tax stuff. You are leading the way. You're working with the Citizen Action Defense Fund to take on this millionaire's tax. Tell us a little bit about what you got, what your plans are, and whether or not you think you're going to be successful. Which I hope you do, obviously.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, and I love the reference to a millionaire's tax. You know, in the bill that creates this tax, they don't even use the word income tax in the title of the bill because they're afraid of it, right? They want people to think this is just a tax on other people. Don't worry, it won't hit you. But of course, it's an income tax. In our nation's history, there's never been an income tax created that wasn't extended to reach everybody eventually, including the federal income tax, which only reached about 5% of Americans back in 1913 when it was enacted. So this tax will obviously be extended over time to reach everybody. And this is the dream of the far left progressives who cannot get enough money, right? Even though the state budget went from $32 billion to $80 billion in about 12 years. Amazing. Think about that for a minute. I mean, like over 100% increase, 124% increase in 12 years. They're still broke. They're still claiming they've got deficits, and you know they came in with a $2 billion deficit this session and proposed $3 billion in new spending. So this is what they're going to do, right? It's just dream up new taxes and higher taxes on all of us. So what we're going to do is, challenge this new tax in court and point out that it is well established in our state under the Constitution and in a long series of Supreme Court cases that you can't tax income unless it follows the rules for property taxes, which means it has to be a uniform tax and it has to be no higher than 1%. So we can have an income tax under the Constitution as long as it meets the rules for property taxes. And that is because the voters amended the Constitution back in 1930 to redefine property to be as broad as possible, to pick up every kind of intangible form of property, including income. And the voters have been asked 6 times since then to amend the Constitution to exclude income from the definition of property. And that definition is everything tangible and intangible subject to ownership, right? So income is part of everything. It's an intangible, and we own our incomes. But they've been asked 6 times to exclude income from that definition, and all 6 times those constitutional amendments have failed. So the voters have been reaffirming this
fairly clear about their feelings
ever since.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So the law is pretty straightforward in that way.
Rob, then Governor Inslee has said that he feels if this does get to a referendum Ferguson. If it does get to a referendum, I'm thinking back to my vote in 2012, Rob, that I cast for you, and but I'll move on. Governor Ferguson says
Sorry to raise a painful subject.
It's okay, buddy. I got faith in the future, and you're in my future. Governor Ferguson says he feels that voters will support this if it gets to the people. Is he delirious?
Well, there have been 10 different proposals for an income tax over the last 90 years, including 6 proposed constitutional amendments, and all of them have failed. The last time the constitutional amendment was up was in the early 70s. It failed with 77% voting no, 23% voting yes. The last time there was an initiative on the ballot to create an income tax was in 2010. It failed by a margin of 2-1. So I don't think it's going to pass if the voters get a say on it. I think it's really revealing that the legislature and the governor are doing everything they can to keep this issue away from the voters, instead of doing what all the other legislatures did, which was to follow their constitutional oaths, to uphold the laws and constitution of the state. And the law and the constitution of the state say today that a progressive income tax is not allowed. Instead of doing that and sending the measure to the voters, they're hoping the Supreme Court does the job for them, right? So when other legislatures said they wanted a progressive income tax, they sent proposed constitutional amendments to the voters because that's allowed. But these guys just voted for a law which, under our current law, is blatantly unconstitutional.
It's always a good sign too, the strength of your law when you're trying to keep it away from the people it's going to affect and just force it on them. Here's a question for you. You were just saying a second ago, like in our Constitution in Washington State, an income tax is not it's not off the table, but like you said, it has to be applied uniformly and it has to be limited to 1%. Why didn't they just try to do that? Why did they go with 10%? And the reason they chose 9%. Can you also, so I have a lot of questions about this. Why did they start with 9.9%? Is it because 10% would have looked crazy and 9.9% is somehow more palatable? And then 2, why wouldn't they just go with the 1%, which they could do if they wanted to, and it would apply to everybody? And if the goal is to raise more money, why? If you can answer some of those, then we can move forward.
Well, I agree with your theory that they set it at 9.9 because it seems less than 10, right? And I don't think it's much more complicated than that.
It's the same way they sell used cars.
For sure.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it is.
$9.99.
It's called rounding. And, a lot of prices are ended at 99. So there's that. And then, I think that they haven't ever passed a 1% income tax because it doesn't generate. They think it doesn't generate the revenue they want. But more than that, they want to be able to say this is just a tax on someone else, right? So they're trying to conjure up images of Elon Musk or some tech billionaires or what have you. But when they talk about the millionaires tax, but the fact is that a lot of the taxpayers who are going to be hit by this tax, if we don't overturn it, are small business owners. They're farmers who are liquidating their equipment. That generates ordinary income. There's any small business owner who has a pass-through entity, an S-corp, right, where the revenue gets passed through and comes onto their tax return. It's going to hit a lot of everyday folks. And, of course, if they get the Supreme Court to uphold this tax to basically reinterpret the Constitution after case after case which is held that progressive income taxes are unconstitutional, then they're going to start expanding the tax, right? They're going to raise it to California's level of 13.5%. They're going to lower that exemption. Maybe not all at once, but they'll steadily lower it so that it hits more and more people. And the reason is that their spending is really out of control. They came in with a budget deficit, proposed billions of new spending. They passed over $9 billion of tax increases last year. And again, they have a deficit. They're forecasting, even with this new tax, if it's in place starting in 2028, that they're going to have multi-billion-dollar shortfalls in their budget by 2030.
And that's if I'm not mistaken, that's the case if this thing works swimmingly, right? And nobody decides to pack it up and leave. That's if everybody who this would affect in the early years at least
stays and pays,
decides to stay and not make their residence in another tax-friendlier state. I mean, they don't have to lose many of them before they're going to lose money on this. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you look at California, it depends very heavily on a pretty small slice of their taxpayers for a high percentage of their state budget because they're so reliant on their capital gains tax and their income tax. And so, it's volatile when the market goes up and down, and then it's volatile because people are moving out of the state of California, and people are moving out of the state of Washington now as well already before this income tax for two main reasons. One is that we have the highest estate tax in the country. It was raised to 35% last year from 20%. They turned around and lowered it again to 20%, but still the highest in the country. And then the capital gains tax. Anyone who's selling a business is going to move out before selling it and change their tax domicile because it's 7%. And that's another tax they'll raise over time. So people who have built up, businesses, other kinds of investments are going to leave, and this income tax is just going to accelerate that departure.
We're talking to former Washington Attorney General Rob McKenna, who's leading the Citizen Action Defense Fund's lawsuit against the state of Washington for the new millionaire's tax. Rob, should you go forward with this, it'll eventually end up at the Supreme Court of Washington. Governor Ferguson has said he feels this iteration of the Supreme Court will back him on this. But everything I've read from you exudes extreme confidence. Why are you right and he wrong?
Well, I'm not sure why he thinks they're going to suddenly reverse, 90 years of precedent. There have been a series of state Supreme Court cases that have looked at the language in the Constitution and reached the only logical conclusion, right? Everything tangible and intangible subject to ownership clearly picks up income because we own our income. It's an intangible. It's part of everything. So why does he think this Supreme Court is suddenly going to read those words differently, which have never changed and which have been reaffirmed by the voters again and again and again, dating all the way back to the 1930s? He's making what sounds like a political statement, like, oh, well, we can trust this court because we got them elected, so they'll vote the way we want them to. Yes. I have more faith in our court than that. I think that they can read the Constitution as well as anyone. And, I was in front of them arguing that the capital gains tax is also unconstitutional because it's really an income tax. You only pay it if you have long-term capital gains that you report on your federal income tax return. They ultimately decided that, no, it really is an excise tax. It's a tax really triggered by transactions. But in doing that, they declined an invitation from one of the interveners in that case to overturn their prior decisions that found that a progressive income tax was unconstitutional. They could have done it in that case. They said no. In fact, they went out of their way to explain the differences between an excise tax and an income tax, while they decided no, we're not going to overturn it. So I have more faith in the Supreme Court. And what I wonder is this: like, how did our governor and the legislators who voted for this tax excuse me, how do they justify that after they took an oath to uphold the Constitution and laws of our state, when the law today, as established by the Constitution and by the Supreme Court interpreting the Constitution, is that progressive income taxes are unconstitutional? How did they not violate their oaths when they passed this bill? The way other legislators, honored their oath of office was to send a constitutional amendment to the voters to let them decide. And here, instead, they put language in this bill that prevents this from going to the ballot by referendum. And they did that to keep it away from the voters.
Rob,
I have faith in the Supreme Court and the voters.
I hope we can all share that faith. We're speaking of Rob McKenna. You sound like you've been hitting it pretty hard the last few days. I know you're a very popular voice in opposition to this income tax. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor and put on your governor's crown. I mean, your governor's hat. Say this that you win in the Supreme Court of Washington, and this income tax is deemed unconstitutional. And if you had the power to legislate over the state of Washington, what would you do to help erase this deficit with, of course, more efficient spending and less spending? But how do you generate revenue in the climate we're in?
We haven't had a trouble generating revenue in our state. We have generated enormous increases in revenue from the taxes that we already have, including a high B&O tax and property taxes, sales taxes, all of it. This is not a revenue problem. In fact, one of the reasons we've been successful is that a lot of founders have come to this state to start their companies, people like Jeff Bezos, or have moved their companies here, have started elsewhere, like Gates and Allen with Microsoft. And there are many, many stories like that. So we have created this amazing flywheel because Washington has been viewed as a very attractive place to start and grow a business, and that's where a lot of tax revenue comes from, and it's where employees get hired who then turn around and pay taxes. So, the fact that our state budget grew from around $32 billion a biennium when I left office in 2013 to over $80 billion now is the proof of that very point, that we've had plenty of revenue, but I think it was someone told me in the 2025 budget, they increased spending 15% against revenue forecasts of, revenue growth of like 3%, 4%. You can't grow the government faster than the people's ability to support it. And that's exactly what they've been doing.
Do you think, I hope you're successful and I hope that this thing never comes to pass, but it has sent a clear message to people who are running businesses and people with money. People who have money and are running businesses, they want to be treated well. In fact, they're willing to pay a premium to be treated well, and that includes, they'll go to places where they are valued. And is it possible with the current politics of this state for any company to feel truly comfortable building a long-term business here? Or is this just one more thing where they're saying, all right, they're trying to get us any way they can. Maybe this one is, deemed unconstitutional, but 5 years from now, what other things are they going to come up with to make my life more difficult? I mean, has this sent a clear message already that people are just saying, listen, maybe this thing is shut down this time, but this is just the start.
Yeah, I think the business community is very worried and should be very worried because we haven't even talked about the payroll taxes and the increases in the B&O tax and endless streams of regulation. I've been talking to a lot of farm and ranch organizations lately, and the farmers are saying that Washington fell from being 15th or 16th in the country in terms of farm profitability to 50th. Jeez. We're now dead last in the country for the profitability of our farms, and family-owned farms are closing up left and right because they can't get loans anymore. They can't get capital. And there are a lot of reasons for that, but a lot of it traces back to policymaking in Olympia. So every kind of business in the state should be worried. And what I've been telling business leaders who've contacted me is, this is the time to step up. Support litigation, sure, but, there needs to be an initiative as well that the voters will have a chance to vote on to repeal this tax. And they're going to need to support that as well, because the business community really did not step up to support the initiative that would have repealed the capital gains tax. It got on the ballot because of Let's Go Washington, and they spent millions of dollars to qualify that initiative and other initiatives. But when it got to the ballot, the business community didn't step up and support it. And, if they don't step up and support an effort to repeal this tax, regardless of how the Supreme Court rules, right, this tax needs to be repealed by the voters at the ballot box. But if they won't support that and help that come to pass, there will be no end to it. There will be a statewide payroll tax. There will be just an endless stream because the appetite for new taxes and increased spending is endless. The people running Olympia today have the keys to the Treasury, and they're just helping themselves.
Well, we're pretty full of taxes. We don't need any more of them. I don't have an appetite for further taxes. Most people don't. And Rob McKenna, we really do appreciate your work on this. And obviously, we hope you prevail and keep this thing from happening. So thank you so much for coming on and explaining this to us and making the time. Best of luck.
I'm available to you anytime. It's great to talk to you both. And Spike, talking to you brings back really fond memories.
Thank you, my friend.
Being on with you and Bob and everyone. Those were special times. So it's great to hear you on the radio. I've been listening to you ever since you guys started the show. So thank you for that.
You betcha. It feels like forever ago, but back then we were top 5 state in America for doing business in. And hopefully we can get some leadership and get back there again. Thanks, Rob. Thanks for your time today.
You bet. Thank you.
All right. That was Rob McKenna. Boy, he's a good guy. You feel confident. You talk to a guy like that and you go, hey, maybe there's hope.
I'm with you. And we came close last time. And I hope Rob has future goals of leading again. Be great.
Coming in on a white horse, stopping this income tax from happening.
15 years ago we were top 5 in the country. Now we're 50th in agriculture, bottom 5 in all of the business. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again expecting different results. That is the definition of insanity.
Something has to change. Yeah. You're absolutely right. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We will be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it, with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Flo here to say that Progressive knows that life can change quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, like when I have to take my ex off my policy.
Oh, sorry. But yes, we can do that.
And can you send them a message and tell them that they have trust issues that they need to work on?
We don't really get in the middle of these conflicts.
Also, can you let them know that I was faking interest in his band and it's probably time to grow up?
I'm not going to do it. Just know that with Progressive, you can easily make changes to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Also, I'm staying in touch with his mom because she's absolutely lovely.
Bad idea.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it, with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
The first few steps that I took in the morning were pretty painful.
This is Carlos.
I had been told by multiple orthopedic surgeons that there was no alternative for me.
That wasn't what he wanted to hear. You see, Carlos is an active guy.
I played basketball, and for 3 to 4 days after, my knees would just be so swollen. And now I can play basketball, and there is no swelling. There is no pain in the knees.
No swelling, no pain, because Carlos went to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm just happy to be able to be out there. And then knowing that tomorrow I am not going to suffer for this.
What do you say to your friends and family who are in pain?
I say, I had horrible knee pain and stem cells really worked for me. You might want to go to Dr. Wagner, just get a consultation before you have surgery.
Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about artificial intelligence.
I cannot answer that.
Many professions are using it, and allegedly some are even being taken over by it. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we know police are leveraging AI, whether it's analyzing body cam footage, reading license plates, or even facial recognition. AI has become a helpful tool, enabling officers to work more efficiently. And efficiency for them means more people getting pulled over. You can't chat GPT your way out of a high BAC. Getting legal advice from AI is no substitute for an attorney. Use AI correctly, or it can result in trouble, like a self-driving car taking you home from a bar.
You have reached your destination.
So call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com. If you get pulled over for DUI, the only thing you need your smart device to do is call 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY!
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-345-2789. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-345-2789. That's 800-345-2789 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-345-2789.
Washington's lottery gives out a lot of green to winners in schools and retailers offering Washington lottery, Washington lottery.
Visit WaLottery.com. Who benefits to learn more?
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. We start today with the closing bell report as U.S. stocks soared to their best day since last spring. Dow Jones soared more than 1,000 points as investors now hope for a possible end of the war with Iran. The Nasdaq climbed nearly 4%. PNC chief economist Gus Fauché.
We really didn't see much of a move in oil prices today. And so if we were to see really good news coming out of Iran, we might expect to see a big drop in oil prices. They're down slightly, but not a very big decline. So it could just be some optimism about the situation with Iran.
President Trump now calling on other U.S. allies to do more to secure the Strait of Hormuz, a critical shipping route for crude oil. CBS's Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
European allies call for de-escalation. President Trump criticized them on social media, saying they should go and take the strait and oil for themselves, adding the USA won't be there to help you anymore.
In a phone call with CBS News, President Trump expressed his frustration other countries aren't doing more to secure this strait, but said the U.S. is not pulling assets yet.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the upcoming days will be, in his words, decisive in the war with Iran. AAA says the national average is now above $4 a gallon for gas as jet fuel prices have now doubled. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has the latest.
The average in Washington, $5.34 a gallon for gas, $6.61 for diesel. Compare that to the national average of $4.01. Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan says that beats the high mark set back in 2022.
Of course, when we make these comparisons back to 2022, keep in mind Washington State didn't have the Cap and Invest program. That's why we're setting records this time around. But we certainly could creep a little higher.
Meanwhile, jet fuel has climbed from $2.17 to $4.56 a gallon. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
T-Mobile is cutting jobs again. The Bellevue-based company confirmed layoffs yesterday, but would not say how many people are affected. Spokesperson tells the Puget Sound Business Journal the company is helping workers transition. T-Mobile disclosed just back in February it was cutting nearly 400 jobs in the States. That came on top of more than 130 layoffs just last summer. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 1:33. Here's Nate Connors.
Hey, thanks, Aaron. It is Tuesday, light out there. No significant backups in sight except for right here in downtown Seattle and North 5. You're going to slow at the West Seattle Bridge just past I-90, and then again from 520 across the Ship Canal Bridge. It's less than 20 minutes to get through downtown. South 5, you're doing great. You've got a brief backup as you approach Mercer in the downtown. Brief backups out at the Hood Canal Bridge where we had a recent marine crossing. It's back open to vehicles right now, and no restrictions on any of our mountain passes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. A nice afternoon. Clouds will increase as the day goes on. Rain for tomorrow. Highs today in the upper 50s. Right now, 52 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. Hard Knocks. HBO's Hard Knocks.
I don't know.
Are you nervous about this?
A little bit.
Seahawks are going to be the first time in franchise history they're going to be on Hard Knocks. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but was it against Pete Carroll policy to be on Hard Knocks?
The stories were that the NFL had approached the Seahawks about taking part in the Hard Knocks series. It's their 25th season, by the way. Okay. And Pete said he didn't want the distraction.
After they had already won the Super Bowl?
I'm not sure if that. It may have been that year.
It must have been.
It may have been that year.
Must have been. Yeah, because they were on everybody's radar. Everyone's talking about them. Yeah.
And this is only the second time in franchise history, not Seahawks, HBO's Hard Knocks franchise. Yeah. The first year they did, they followed the 2001 Baltimore Ravens. They were the defending Super Bowl champions. They followed them that year at training camp. That was the launch of Hard Knocks. Ray Lewis and that Ravens team. They went on to make the playoffs, but not repeat as champions in that year.
Sure.
And since then, the teams that have had their team featured on Hard Knocks have not done very well.
So you're saying there's a karmically bad thing when you're on Hard Knocks?
I don't know.
It doesn't bode well for your season. I mean,
historically. I don't know if I'd make it karma or there's no voodoo dolls, but it's the distraction that these networks can impose. And I've seen a lot of people that have pushed back on that line of thinking.
Sure.
That look, they're just filming what's already taking place. There's no extra sessions. There's not like a confession booth. It's not Love on Football Island or some weird thing like reality show like that. They're just filming what's going on.
Writing that idea down. It's not a horrible idea.
But the intrusion of an element that is not just football centric. Pete Carroll thought it was too much, the risk of too much of a distraction for the reward of having your team featured. I mean, no team needs attention right now less than the Seattle Seahawks.
It's true.
As you said, we're the toast of the town.
The expectations are through the roof?
Sure. They got a quarterback who has risen to the top of his skill set at the prime of his athletic career.
Best wide receiver in football.
Best wide receiver in football. You know, they're a solid young roster with a championship defense, maybe the sharpest defensive mind in coaching, and he's only in his going to be third year as the head coach. They got the executive of the year in John Schneider. Of course, everybody wants to be a part of this.
It's interesting because the Seahawks are still for sale, right?
Seahawks are for sale.
Seahawks are still for sale, and I do wonder. Obviously, a team is not going to be featured that an owner does not want to have featured, and if there is a new ownership group coming into town, and I don't know that's the case. I mean, it's not like we have any news here that
that's gone expectedly quiet.
That has gone really quiet. I was thinking about that the other day. There's not been a lot of conversations around that, and I am wondering, is it because there's deals that are happening in the background, or is it because, what's the reasoning that they're not chatting about that a lot? And if they were, let's say something comes together very quickly, what if you have Hard Knocks on the line and they're ready to go and they're ready to start filming because it's all preseason stuff?
It's agreed upon. Contracts are signed.
And then an owner comes in and goes, hey, you know what? We don't want to share all of our secrets, because that's the thing too. Is you are seeing the insides of how these teams work.
I hadn't even thought about that.
What if a new owner says, yeah, forget that?
Yeah. I don't know. Those are great questions. It may be the NBA expansion is why the Seahawks ownership question has gone dormant, at least from the public eye.
Oh, because there's other teams that people are talking about?
There's big money on the table here with regard to Seattle and ownership. Maybe they want to make sure they get that financing and that commitment to ownership locked down for the NBA to guarantee expansion. Then they'll come back up with their NFL ownership situation. Did you know, by the way, today was announced that the Portland Trail Blazers are being sold? Paul Allen's other entity, that the Allen Family Trust. It was announced today that the Trail Blazers will be sold to a Texas billionaire at $4.25 billion.
That's kind of a deal.
It's kind of a great deal.
When you look at the expansions for the other teams, between $7 and $10 billion.
Exactly.
He's getting for half the price.
It is Portland, and no knock on the Rose City. It's one of the smallest markets in the NBA.
Sure.
But that's going to happen today. So Allen's trust is doing what they committed to do, which was divesting the two pro teams to benefit the philanthropic efforts and objectives of the late Paul Allen. So I'm not.
Do you want to see them on the team? Because when I saw this news, I went, "Sweet! I love Hard Knocks. I love watching it. I love the insights.
I'll enjoy it.
It also gets me excited to watch the teams because...
Yeah, I don't get out to training camp.
Yeah, I don't know who these guys are, and you get a little sense of who they are, what kind of cars they drive, how funny they are. And that's what I connect to when I'm watching football.
And it's quality. It's a quality program. HBO
very well
knows
done.
they know what they're doing. They're great storytellers. Every iteration
Shriver's got a great voice. It all works.
Every iteration of Hard Knocks has been very entertaining. And they feature teams. You can't blame Hard Knocks for the fact that they had the Jets on, and they had the Bears in 2024 went 5-12 after Hard Knocks came to town. You can't put that on Hard Knocks.
Sure.
I just worry about the little distractions. You hear guys who know in the NFL like Wyman, or go even higher, go Schneider. It takes so much for a team to complete all their goals and win a championship. It's so many tiny little things can derail a team. I was talking to somebody the other day. If the Hawks don't get that 2-point conversion against the Rams, right? The one that bounced off a helmet was deemed a backwards pass and just got picked up by Charbonnet.
There's like a million little things.
A million little things could have gone wrong. They stayed healthy. They got the breaks. They got the bounces. Yeah. And it took every second we had to get to the championship game and win a Super Bowl. And if it's one little thing that Hard Knocks does and changes the butterfly effect. The butterfly flaps its wings over here and we don't win a championship or whatever, Maybe I'm just paranoid.
No, I think it's we just won a Super Bowl and you don't want to mess up that whatever that chemistry is, you feel like, all right, don't touch it. Like you don't talk to a pitcher in the middle of a no-hitter. You just don't talk to him.
It's funny you say that because the EMs had a no-hitter a couple nights ago.
Yeah, Hancock.
Right, through 6.
Yeah.
Pitched 97 pitches through 6, no hits.
Beautiful.
And they pulled him. They pulled him for a pitch count. It's early in the season. I get it.
Sure.
But I'm listening back to the broadcast, listen to the radio broadcast, and they're announcing his incredible, performance that night. 9 strikeouts, blah, 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 blah. Never once did the word no-hitter mention.
You don't mention it.
Not once.
Bad karma. Bad juju.
Yeah,
whatever
bad
you
juju.
say.
You don't tempt the fates.
You don't talk about it. And so I do feel like that's the main thing that people are thinking right now. They're like, hey, listen, the chemistry right now, whatever that is. Although on the other side, they have just gotten rid of a bunch of their key guys. Everybody got, not all of them, but there's a lot of guys. There is a new chemistry in.
There will be, yes.
I wonder if, I do trust Schneider. John Schneider's, I think he's a genius.
I do too.
I do trust Mike McDonald. I think Mike McDonald is a special coach.
I'm with you.
And I'm wondering if they're seeing this also as an opportunity. They're like, hey, listen, guys, this is going to be a bonding experience for all of you guys to go through early in the season before you've been out there in the lights together and all the different things.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity for you guys to shine. We're going to introduce you to the world, the new Seahawks, which hopefully they got many of these guys locked in for many years.
Yeah.
What a great opportunity. There's no more attention right now that's going to be paid to the Seahawks than the year after they win the Super Bowl. And so now you have the opportunity to introduce them on a national stage in a much more in-depth way than people are going to be looking at them, because you're going to welcome these guys into your house outside of their helmets.
Yeah.
You can see these guys wearing their normal clothes. And then suddenly my wife knows all about Seahawks because she's now met them and their wives and what they live their lives like and who they are and how funny they are.
Plus,
it's a great marketing opportunity.
It really does. And I think you're right. And it also gives the players themselves a sense that now, look, you are it.
Yes.
You're the standard.
This is the new Seahawks.
Right. And this is who we are. This is baseline for us.
I also wonder, too, I was thinking about this. So it's very difficult to repeat a Super Bowl. I mean, don't tell them anybody in Boston. They're fine with it. But you have it's tough to do because you have everybody comes in. If you have anybody who's on a contract year, everybody wants that magic. So they're willing to pay a premium for it, which is what just happened with the Seahawks. Obviously, it's going to happen.
Yeah, you lose coaches, you lose key players. Yeah.
You lose key players, you do all these different things. And then you have this tremendous opportunity with HBO coming in. And I do think, how do you help a team establish, hey, did we just win a Super Bowl? Yes, but we're not that team anymore. We're a new team now.
Right.
We do have new guys, new exciting pieces. And so we kind of, I say we, like I'm part of the team.
No, hey, you are.
We're a fan,
you yell,
right?
We scream, yeah.
They have to do two things. They have to carry on the winning tradition, and at the same time, they have to kind of throw that winning tradition away and be like, that's not who we are anymore. We're also a new team.
Yeah.
And let's boldly go, in this new direction.
Yeah.
Which hopefully is still in the same direction.
Oh, yeah.
To win the Super Bowl.
I can't wait. You brought me around on this. I wasn't
even trying to. That's
I was kind of dreading this. I really was. I think it's an intrusion that an unnecessary potential distraction.
I want to meet these guys.
Yeah.
I want to hang out with them. Not really. I mean, I would, but I don't think you want to hang out with me.
Who would? I'm jealous of those guys down the hall. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
You bet. Get to know them.
And
get them used to the spotlight.
Yes.
This is who you are.
The other thing about Hard Knocks, which is cool, is I've never seen a season of Hard Knocks where they make the teams look stupid. Ever. Hard Knocks is do you ever watch the show? I mean, HBO.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch the show Entourage?
Sure.
Everything in Entourage looks cool, even though Hollywood is generally like just a disgusting place.
Yeah.
But it looks cool.
Yeah.
And they always make the guys like, it always turns out happy.
Sure.
Hard Knocks is kind of the same thing. Like, it always makes everybody look cool.
Yeah. It's not an unflattering light.
They're not
No.
going to get teams to sign up to like share all their innermost secrets and behind closed doors.
And make them look like chuckleheads.
And make them look like
No,
idiots.
right.
So it's a fun opportunity.
Yeah, this is going to be good.
I think it's going to be good.
Okay.
Yeah. But or it could be a disaster. And we'll look back and go, why did they go on Hard
tried
Knocks?
to tell them.
Don't do it.
It'll premiere in August. It'll be 5 Tuesday nights in a row.
I love it.
Running through early September.
I can't wait.
Seattle Seahawks for the first time ever. NFL's Hard Knocks 2026.
Go Seahawks. All right, we're going to tell you about a new Costco thing. They're testing it here locally, and it's fantastic. I used it the other day. You're going to love it. We'll tell you about it next.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
You know, if you're like me, you're part of the sandwich generation, and it's not what you think. You've got kids on one side, you've got aging parents on the other. And the decision you make about assisted living can feel overwhelming. It can be the most important decision you make your entire life. Here's what I wish someone had told me sooner. Aegis Living. We're talking award-winning assisted living and advanced memory care, all under one roof, all across King County, close to your family. Voted best of Western Washington. Voted best adult living community in all of America by Seniorly. Go to aegisliving.com/spike. Schedule a visit today. Get a special take-home gift. There's no pressure. It's free of charge. This must be the place is what you're going to say, because it is. aegisliving.com/spike.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
If you've saved more than $300,000, there's one thing you can do now that could make your savings go twice as far in retirement, and it's tax planning. That's right, tax planning could significantly reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, Social Security benefits, and other investment income. Charlie Harger here. Find out how much money you could save with a free retirement tax savings analysis from the good people at Boss Retirement Solutions. To schedule your free analysis, call 206-210-1350. Tax planning for retirement could reduce your taxes not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. And the savings could be 6 figures. Let's find out how much money you could save. Call 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Mariners baseball is in full swing, and it's not too late to come on board as a season ticket member. With a Flex plan, you can choose your games and seats as you go. Plus, lock in guaranteed postseason access and no ticket fees. Join today at mariners.com/flex. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File today the easy way in the Credit Karma app.
Our local tax expert and advocate Greg Nunn understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build. Call None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
Windows are a home's top target for break-ins. At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer added security with our exclusive 3-layer security glass protection. Combined with our lifetime warranty, you'll have lifetime peace of mind. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
Now through March 31st, Lake Washington Windows and Doors is paying your sales tax, plus offering easy 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com today and save the sales tax.
All right, welcome back to the show. Costco. Everybody loves Costco. Every time we mention a Costco, we start getting text messages. You guys can text us, actually. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Have you used this new feature, and are you enjoying it? I feel like this is kind of a revolutionary thing. I think every shopping experience is going to keep improving because they have to convince people to get out of your car. You just pull up to places now. You don't even have to get out of your car.
You order on your phone, you pull up the back, they throw it in your groceries, boom.
Yeah.
You walk away. Never even get your car.
My wife
never unbuckle your seatbelt.
Does all of our grocery shopping, and she never goes into it. She hasn't been into a grocery store in years. She sits on the couch, and I'm like, what are you up to? And she's like, I'm grocery shopping.
I can't do that.
And she does it all. And previous week's grocery orders are already preloaded. You can just go, just order that again.
Need this, need that, don't need this, don't need that.
We eat all the same stuff. I eat the same thing every single day.
Do you really?
Pretty much. Wow. Poppy seed muffins.
Boom. Costco,
every day.
Though, right? Costco.
Yeah,
for sure. How can you not?
Yeah, for
I got to touch the fruit. I got to pick my own fruit. I got to shop my own produce. I can't trust. I'm sure that shopper assistants, store shoppers.
You're right. I know where you're going. Finish your thought, and then I'm going to confirm what you're going to say.
They want to get the worst thing on the shelf off the shelf. They stock up carts by the last thing, the first thing in, last thing out. Blah blah blah.
Yes.
I want the one in the back. I work produce for a spring.
Yeah.
Between a summer job and a winter job, between going to the beach for the summer job, I work produce department at a grocery store for a week. What these people do to fruit and the rotation of stock. I never shop from the front of produce. And I know that these personal shoppers, those are great. Those are wonderful time-saving amenities.
Sure.
Great additional value for the customer base. But I got to touch my own kumquats.
I think that's a smart idea.
I do, man.
And you don't want somebody else touching your kumquats.
No, you don't. No,
absolutely
it's
not.
Nothing more personal.
Yeah, no.
That and keys.
There should be nothing between that kumquat and your
me.
mouth.
That's
but
right.
you
Nothing.
And only your hands.
And
100%.
Same with meat. Same thing with meat.
You don't want anyone else touching your meat?
No, I gotta go. I gotta look at them all.
I disagree.
I gotta look at them.
This is.
You almost made it through without breaking.
I did.
Almost made it.
I don't mind if somebody else from time to time. I don't mind it.
When I saw this headline from Costco, it terrified me because I misunderstood what they were saying here.
So here's what you do. You pull up at a Costco. I was there last night, stocking up on some things. All the classics, milk, eggs.
TP. You got boys.
No, I did TP last time.
There you go.
And that lasts 2 times.
Okay.
So I don't need to do that.
Okay.
So I didn't need toilet paper, but I did, you go
buy
in
the butter in bulk.
You go in for milk and eggs, and you go out with a million things. It's the best business in the world.
It really is.
You're going to walk
I
into...
didn't even know I needed snow tires.
Yeah,
but I got them.
100%. I walked in needing milk and eggs, and what I left with was milk and eggs, more butter than I ever thought I'd need, bananas.
You're making a cow.
2 watermelons, because they sell them 2 at a time now.
Right, sure.
2 watermelons, poppy seed muffins, tons of stuff that I didn't need.
That's it.
But I do love it. But you get up to the front there, and you can go to the self-checkout area. And if you go to the self-checkout area, there's a person that will just walk up to you. And they have like a futuristic they look like they're a Star Wars character.
They got a scan gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
They look like they've got a phaser gun from Star Wars. In fact, quick side idea, they should dress them as a sci-fi character just to be fun. And they should walk up to your cart and they just go pew, 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 pew.
Or
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Bones used
and
to
then
do.
they're going to morph you out of the store very quickly.
See, what I thought when it said they were pre-scanning your cart to get you through. The idea here is to pre-scan your items and expedite the checkout process. They want to get it down to 8 seconds.
That's all it
takes. By the
takes.
time you get up to the cashier.
All you got to do is go up and tap. You scan your card and you tap and you're done.
See, and I thought they were like scanning the whole cart. And like one big, like an MRI. I thought.
You mean like you're walking through?
I thought you meant they're going to radiate me and my 2 watermelons, right? But that's not the case. That, like you said, and I've experienced this. I didn't know this was part of a new pilot program.
Yeah.
That they're going to come out and they're going to speed scan everything in your cart.
Well, it's
beautiful.
They scan your card.
Yeah.
So you're locked into the system, and then they go around. They go boop 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 beep beep boop beep boop boop. They scan everything. By the time you get to the self checkout, you scan your card.
Right.
You tap the thing. You're not gonna have to swipe anymore.
Because you got a baby under one arm, kid throwing a tantrum right behind the cart. You're out the door.
You know what's fast? I don't do this, but you could. You could use the Costco app to both scan your card and pay for your stuff at going out.
Yeah.
I literally could just pull out my phone and just tap my phone.
Yeah.
And that's it. And they've made it so seamless. Now I can spend all that money faster.
And they can get you
what they want.
And then get on to the next person's money.
Yes.
Genius.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. We got a lot more coming up. Andrew Suarez from WeHeart Seattle is going to join us next. She discovered at one of these tiny house villages some bad stuff happening. And
the
instead of fixing the problem.
No, the city solved the problem.
Yes. In a very Seattle-like way.
In a very Seattle-like way, yes.
Yeah. All right. We'll tell you about it next. Stick around.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Owie, wowie.
What's with the
water heater's worn out?
Way less hot water?
Takes a lot longer, too.
Sounds like a goner.
Worst of all,
what?
Wasn't planning on it.
We can help.
Apollo Plumbing.
Ready right now to get you
in hot water.
Same day.
Not this day. My budget.
How about with easy payments?
How much easy?
Around $50 a month with approved credit.
A new water heater?
50 gallons of 100% hot water delight.
For about $50 a month.
51, 52 to be precise.
And you can do it
today if that's what you need.
Is it ever?
Apollo installs new ones with code upgrades.
Can't beat that.
Actually, I can.
What?
Your same-day water heater replacement includes Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which means?
Apollo Plumbing covers your new water heater for life.
You mean should it ever wear out?
Apollo Plumbing replaces it free.
And if it needs service?
Service is included for our A-list members.
Wow!
Your new water heater is ready
right now
at ApolloPlumbing.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Major financial decisions deserve education, not pressure. Madrona Financial and CPAs host live seminars and online webinars throughout the year to help you make informed, confident choices. Their tax return treasure hunt discusses how to uncover planning opportunities potentially hidden inside your own tax return. Growing Her Wealth addresses the financial transitions many women face and how to prepare for them thoughtfully and confidently. 7 steps to a successful retirement. Well, this one outlines a practical framework for building income strategies intended to support retirement spending needs. And Landlord Exit Strategies takes a clear look at whether holding, selling, or restructuring your rental properties makes sense long term. You can attend in person or join online from home. To see the full schedule, visit madronafinancial.com or call 833-673-7373.
This is a paid advertisement. Investments involve risk. See full disclosures at madronafinancial.com.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical,
there's no beating CM Heating.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. An American journalist has been kidnapped in Baghdad. CBS's Cammie McCormick with the latest.
Sources tell CBS News her name is Shelley Kittleson, and one of her contacts said she had been warned by the U.S. government about a specific threat to her from an Iran-backed paramilitary group. The State Department has confirmed she was warned and says it will continue to coordinate with the FBI to ensure her release as quickly as possible. A spokesman also says Iraqi authorities have detained one of those involved in the kidnapping.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says that the upcoming days will be decisive in the war with Iran. It comes as President Trump is calling on U.S. allies to do more to secure the Strait of Hormuz. CBS's Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
European allies call for de-escalation. President Trump criticized them on social media, saying they should go and take the strait and oil for themselves, adding the USA won't be there to help you anymore.
In a phone call with CBS News, President Trump expressed his frustration other countries aren't doing more to secure this strait, but said the U.S. is not pulling assets yet.
Citing the First Amendment, the federal judge blocks President Trump's order to end funding for NPR and PBS. Another federal judge orders the Trump administration to stop construction of the White House ballroom and requires congressional approval to continue. CBS's Ed O'Keefe.
The judge also said that the president's continued arguments that the ballroom's a legally allowable alteration to the White House is a, quote, brazen interpretation of the laws of vocabulary. This isn't any national park, the judge said. It's an iconic symbol of this nation.
The president and CEO of the National Trust for Historic Preservation calls it a win for the American people. With gas prices now averaging more than $4 a gallon, the key to saving money may be in your timing.
Gas Buddy has found in most states Sunday is the cheapest day of the week to buy gas. Petroleum analyst Patrick DeHaan says that's because energy markets are closed over the weekend.
That gives stations some certainty over their cost. Over the weekend, it allows them to be more competitive, knowing that their cost is not going to suddenly shift.
Filling up on a Sunday may only save you $1 or $2, but over the course of a year,
if you're filling up on the right day of the week and if you're shopping around, this can add up to hundreds of dollars.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
U.S. stocks have surged to their best day since last spring. Chief economist Gus Fauché with PNC Financial Services.
We're seeing pretty broad-based growth in the stock market today. So I think that's a reflection of some optimism about the situation with Iran.
The Dow soared more than 1,100 points. The S&P 500 leaped 2.9%. The NASDAQ closed up 3.8%. This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Mornings.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute. Gail came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
Airline ticket sticker shock coming up after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
Thanks, Aaron. KIRO Newsradio App has our update. Hood Canal, we've got big backups now heading toward the bridge from both directions due to a series of recent marine crossings. Up in Everett, our afternoon shift change is underway at Boeing, so this has eastbound 526 all jammed up, leaving the factory headed over to I-5. South 5 into Seattle, just a minor backup at Mercer in the downtown. Nothing real severe here. North 5, on the other hand, is pretty solid, starting at the Michigan curve to our Revive I-5 project at the Ship Canal Bridge. Plan on 25 minutes now to get through this, but once you do, it's wide open all the way into Bellingham. South 405, you're slow through Factoria, a little more crowding. Heading into Renton, Bellevue to Renton's at 15 minutes. Text the app to 888-973-5476 and download the KIRO Newsradio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granello. Airlines responding to rising jet fuel costs by raising ticket prices. Some travelers at SeaTac already feeling the pinch.
I saw an increase by about $200 already from Las Vegas to Chicago in the end of July, so definitely kind of reconsidering if I want to take that route.
KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha reports jet fuel prices have surged some 85% in the U.S. since the start of the Iran war.
To fight the rising costs, United is cutting flights, and the airline's CEO already spoke about the impacts.
Airfares are up probably 15 to 20%. In the last month.
Jet fuel prices could cost airlines an extra $11 billion this year alone.
And on Monday, JetBlue just mentioned rising operating costs when it announced it was raising baggage fees. Copper wire thieves have knocked out the lights at Baker Park in North Seattle. Clark Sheff lives nearby. He tells KIRO 7 TV he saw two men getting into utility boxes along Northwest 85th.
The one guy that was at the end over there was probably cutting it, and this guy here was just pulling wires through and just wrapping it around his arm like I see guys doing with extension cords at construction sites.
Sheff says he called 911 as the two men went down the street, stealing even more wiring. Police never showed up. SPD says officers were likely on higher priority calls. Seattle City Council member Maritza Rivera is calling for an audit of the city's human service contracts. This comes on the heels of an audit revealing potential fraud and misuse of funds within King County's contractors.
And we should do it because then we're showing to the constituents that we're doing our due diligence prophylactically, not waiting for something to show up.
Rivera says there is no current evidence of wrongdoing. And the Seahawks are heading to HBO. First time, Seattle will be featured on Hard Knocks. The announcement came last night at the league's annual meeting. Show follows the NFL teams through training camp and has been on the air since 2001. To your weather updates, increasing clouds today, highs in the upper 50s this afternoon. Rain returns tomorrow. Right now, 54 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 2 hours down, one fantastic hour to go. So everybody knows third hour is always the best, which is why we're very happy to have Andrea Suarez joining us now from WeHeart Seattle. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Andrea, we played some audio that you had the other day that you posted on X. I follow you on X, and I saw the story, and I was like, this doesn't seem legal. There was a tiny house village, and you identify, along with some people who, do those gentlemen live there that
Yes.
we're showing you around?
Yes.
tell the audience what you found, and then we'll give the update to the story, which is even more surprising than the original story.
Well, these are low barrier, meaning drugs are allowed inside. There's no requirement to enroll in services. Shelters known as tiny house villages, and I had a client there. A client is somebody who enrolls in WeHeart Seattle's case management load. We might buy them phones or connect them to family and other basic needs. And so I was there doing a visit, and on his own, often people want to tell us what's going on inside the villages. And it caught me actually by surprise to have this like blatant tiny home that volunteers built that was designated, as he pointed out, to specifically use fentanyl and with your dealer.
And with your dealer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so on its face, that would seem to be not something that I imagine that taxpayer-funded things should be used for. Like, taxpayer dollars should not be going towards facilities where you can do drugs with your dealer. Am I wrong about that? Is that just an old-fashioned value of mine, or is that something that's actually illegal?
Well, I mean, I've been doing this for 5 years, in and out of low-barrier priorities and, housing projects, and it still catches me off guard, knowing drugs are allowed, knowing that we're harboring drug dealers and giving them free housing for life in permanent supportive housing and tiny house villages where they're allowed to deal to their neighbors. And they're not, supposed to do it out in the open, but it is happening, and it was in my face. And of course, our client pointed out that, people use to not, overdose alone and potentially die. So this is all in the name of what we call harm reduction.
Sure.
And I say to that, there is no harm reduction to fentanyl other than to just stop using it. And there's no intervention. There's no proactive intervention from a case management standpoint to help people get off drugs. It's the meet people where they're at until they're ready philosophy. And when your dealer is your neighbor, I find that to be an impossibility in the name that this is a place where people stabilize.
Can you tell, just for anybody in the audience who may not be familiar with your organization, what is it that sets you guys apart from, say, so the city wants to, like Katie Wilson right now, Mayor of Seattle, she's proposing 3 new bills. She wants to add 1,000 beds. I assume that they're all low barrier or no barrier, additions, so somebody could still be on drugs or whatever. What sets you guys apart from the city's philosophy versus what WeHeart Seattle tries to do?
So the city's philosophy is adopted through the 2013 policy change at the federal level, which is housing first. Housing, no questions asked. There's no housing second. It's just get a roof over your head, put the oxygen mask on. If everybody just started there, then things would stabilize and people would make good choices to reach self-sufficiency. What happened was, of course, billions went in, homelessness exploded, and as an organization that's private funded, so that's the biggest differentiators, we're private funded, but we shadow the government. We pick up trash, we help the homeless, we restore public safety, we act as an alternative to calling the police, we do community work orders to do interventions for people in crisis, squatting in buildings, vacating people from properties, stairwells. So we have private contracts to do that kind of work.
Sure.
So philosophically, I didn't know 5 years ago that I was stepping into something that had so much philosophy around it, and learned for myself, for my own boots on the ground, that there's nothing humane about allowing somebody to use drugs on public property and with our taxpayer dollars to be destroyed and eventually go downhill. I've never seen anybody look better once they were inside some of these low barrier shelters. They deteriorate, they lose weight, they lose their teeth, they steal more, they steal from the neighbors to support their drug habit. I mean, Mayor Wilson wants to stand up 1,000 more beds, and she's 100% in partnership with Lehigh to stand up tiny house villages. So do people know that that means we are essentially giving people a place to do drugs instead of the streets?
And Spike, I know you have a question, but can I?
Go ahead.
I just want to get to the update on the story was, so you do this video, you showcase for everybody to see that, look, there's a designated spot for somebody to do fentanyl and meth or whatever you're doing with like a designated place with the drug dealer. It seems very predatory to me and very unfair to somebody who's addicted to drugs than like make them live next door to somebody who's selling them the product that's killing them. But that's a side point. And then, so you highlight this, and then the response is that, are they going to fix the problem? What was the response?
Well, unbeknownst to me, apparently I was already on some kind of banned blacklist. And once I found that out as well, I mean, I had been holding on to that video, frankly. And as I was exiting the other day, they were like, by the way, you're not supposed to be in here. You're banned, because you say things about us and you did video about us, which was like on another story that was regarding a tiny home that had mold in it and what have you. And so then I was like, oh, I'm banned? Well, then let me actually show you what I really have.
Wow. So you're banned because they didn't like the negative coverage of what's actually happening.
Yeah,
there.
and I'm outspoken. I put it on my social media pages. I retweet stuff that's exposing kind of the underbelly of the low barrier housing projects and what they do to the communities, especially with these bills that we're passing that, put these anywhere. There is no zoning barriers anymore to put tiny house villages in all of our neighborhoods.
A lot of people may not be aware of that. That just got passed.
95% of the people in these tiny homes are using fentanyl. What do they do all day to support their drug habit? They will rip you off. That's the reality that I don't know why these legislators and our own governor do not realize they will wreak havoc in our communities.
Where do you get that number? You said 95% of people in these tiny villages are using fentanyl?
Yeah, I got that from the people that live there. And
is there any scientific basis for that, or is that just anecdotal? That seems to be, I'm not pushing back.
No, it's okay.
That seems to be an unbelievable claim.
That comes from a resident of a tiny house. It comes from my own knowledge of who's going into the tiny houses.
There's no basis in that, Andrea. There's no basis. 95%? That's ridiculous.
In some villages.
But that's a different statement, and I'd like to see evidence of that. I'm not condoning drug use in the villages. I've listened to your points of view, and they're valid, and the concerns you have are genuine, and they're heartfelt, and in your efforts of helping a community. But I do see some value in low barrier housing. I know that it creates a whole different set of issues, but you talk about getting people off the streets and out of doorways and in front of businesses. If it's just going to be that they're going to be required to go clean before they're ready to go clean, and I'm not going to get into the struggles of addiction with you, but if they're off the streets and they're out of in front of businesses and they're out of doorways, they're in a tiny village, that is a benefit to the community that these tiny villages are put into. They're not on the street. And I'm with you about the little drug shack. When Jake and I brought this up a week ago, I'm thinking, do you want a community that's using fentanyl, all over the place in these tiny villages? Do you want them in every corner of the tiny village, or would you rather they were segregated into one little place? I mean, ideally, there wouldn't be any fentanyl.
Not at all.
Ideally, there wouldn't be any fentanyl in these communities, but that's an unrealistic.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Why? Why do we not hold them to the standards that we hold the rest of the public to?
Because
it's illegal.
Because at that point, I'm not arguing that. Because at that point, they're still going to be on the streets.
So if somebody's doing something illegal, somebody's speeding and putting other people at danger, what do we do with those people?
That's a totally. Of course, we lock
difference. We have rules and laws for a reason. Why do we have rules and laws? And if you're not going to follow rules and laws that you don't like, then what's the point of rules and laws?
My point being, if the idea is to clean up our streets, to keep our business community safer,
yes,
then put these people. Then they're going to have to put them somewhere. And if they're not ready to get clean and sober, they're going to still be on the streets. And if there isn't a little shack in the corner of the tiny village where people are using drugs, they're going to be using drugs all over the tiny village, in front of families, in front of kids, or whoever it may be.
Andrea, jump in here, please.
Well, there's dozens and dozens of tiny house villages, and you're right, not all of them are drug-riddled.
Thank you.
There is a sortation process, families, people that have children. Chief Seattle Club runs a really great one in Ballard I've been to, and it was no drugs allowed at all. There are
tiny villages that have restrictive requirements.
They try to.
They're gatekeepers, and I've said that numerous times. I'm all for that. The reason I'm a proponent of tiny villages.
That's what I just said. Is don't have drugs in these places. Why is that restrictive? You're saying that's fine now. 2 seconds ago,
I'm not saying it's fine. I'm saying you're making you want progress, not perfection.
I don't think that the voter at large knows that the tiny house villages are harboring our drug dealers and drug users, and they're using the fentanyl inside their own house as well, not just the designated shack, but they can use drugs inside their cute little tiny house that says welcome home, and they turn into dark, grim, expensive coffins often because people are overdosing. In this village, they had so many deaths by overdose, they decided to create a designated shack so you wouldn't use a loan. So they were trying to keep people alive.
I get it's a horrible situation, but it really is. That's better than people dying alone.
But then when we go to the Hope Factory and we build tiny houses, we should tell the volunteers from Microsoft and the good feel-good volunteer groups, including my Rotary Club, some of these villages are for people who use fentanyl, and that we give some of these houses are used to use in the name of harm reduction. I don't think they're sold rainbows and unicorns and baby drives and diaper drives, and that these are just great, wonderful places that are in that. And I'm with you. I believe we have to have incremental places for people to go, except for I know this. They don't actually stay inside their tiny houses. They're out in the parks using anyway because there's no requirement to do any programming. So,
and I'm with you 1,000% on that. I think complete services for a community suffering from drug addiction or mental health crises deserve more than just a place to lie down and die. Mm-hmm. They deserve services that include treatment of their mental health issues and their drug addictions. I'm with you 1,000%.
And it's compulsory. I mean, I didn't see 5 or 6 people come out of their offices until I was being banned. Like, people are there if people want to enroll in services. It's not compulsory. And I don't think when you have the mayor and Sharon Lee up there saying, oh, we're going to turbocharge these new shelters with all kinds of wraparound services, it sounds really great. But the fentanyl addict is not required to go and say, hey, I think I'm ready now for treatment. When their dealer, I mean, it is so predatory. My friend Mike Matzik died inside a Plymouth building, and he was a schizophrenic that was warehoused with fentanyl dealers, and he got preyed on for his $700 a month check. He was not a drug addict when he was put inside Plymouth housing. That is why I'm sounding the alarm that we need to do better.
The part of your video that Spike that we talked about last week, which I was completely amazed by in a horrible way, was the fact that when you walk by that little drug shack, the guy says, well, it's empty right now because it's the end of the month and nobody has any extra
money left. Yeah.
All their money has been sucked up by these people who are doing bad drugs and who are selling them drugs and who are just sitting there like a spider in wait as the rest of these poor addicted souls are caught up in a spider's web.
Yeah.
And you're putting them all. That's the problem that I have with the Spike, and where you and I disagree vehemently
and what's
about
that money that I'm glad you brought that up, because it's a detail of more services, more stamp cards, more cash benefits, and those are used for drugs. Not all, but let's be honest and real about these wonderful services enable the rampant drug-friendly culture we have in Seattle. Sorry, Bellevue does not have these problems.
Yeah, 100%. The other thing is, fentanyl is like 100 times more dangerous and addictive than heroin. I mean, I'm
aware. Yeah.
It is easily available, and when you're putting these people right next door to a dealer, and when they know that the dealer's right there, that to me is like you're forcing the hens to room with the fox. I don't understand why everybody seems to be okay with that.
How is that stabilizing?
It's not stabilizing. It puts them in direct line of fire.
I'm not claiming it's okay. I'm not claiming it's stabilizing. Mm-hmm. I'm saying at some point you're going to have to get people off the streets and out in front of businesses and doorways. You make incremental changes to get these people help. Mm-hmm. And there's not a perfect system, bud. Mm-hmm. But requiring people to be clean and sober, I'm with you. I think it'd be great if people were required to have services before they're offered some kind of shelter. I'm of that mind myself.
Okay.
But that's not the reality that we're living in these days.
It's amazing to me that they're able to achieve that in some cities and not others that are separated by a light rail train. Mm-hmm. It's not as if this is a whole different state. And you don't see this problem in Bellevue.
The fact that it's not in Bellevue is because it's allowed here. It's much easier for them to just come here and do what's allowed here.
No, it's because it's not allowed in Bellevue.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Because it's allowed here.
Okay, so we don't allow it in Bellevue, and it works. Deterrence works. If you arrest people for doing illegal things, they stop doing those illegal things, or they move along. Isn't that a better solution?
What I'm worried about with the 1,000 shelters is, and I've asked council members, like, who are they for? Who are they for? Because the service-resistant people that are in Lewis Park, Dr. Jose, 12th and Jackson, 3rd and P, half of them already have housing or have a tiny house or have already been through that cycle, been there, done that. Mm-hmm. They're service-resistant. And so then I would say to the mayor, aren't we just opening up more supply for more inflow? And without an inflow plan, we're never seeing the improvement. I 100% would, give them an incremental place to go. But why isn't that actually working? We keep getting, the numbers keep going up and up and up and up, despite more and more shelters and more DESC buildings and more of all of it.
More funding, and everything.
Grimly, we've lost 7,200 people to death, so we don't need space for them anymore. Yeah. So where's everybody coming from?
So your input is valuable. You've got on-street experience. You've got hands-on experience, life experience with us. Are you being listened to at the city when you tell the mayor these things? Are you getting an audience?
I have met with her right hand in charge of homelessness. He spent 90 minutes with us in our office, and that is a lot. He grilled us. He got inside our heads, why we feel the way we do.
Are you going to have an ongoing relationship with this department? Because you've got experience and knowledge that's going to benefit them finding a solution that works for everybody in the city. Not just the people who don't want to look at drug addicts, but the drug addicts and homeless themselves.
Yeah, and the feds have said if you want HUD funding, you have to tie treatment more to services. Now, tied to, is it required, is it not? And that will be determined. But instead of pivoting and saying, yeah, we should put at least one clean and sober village for Andrea to send her people to after she pushes treatment on them. And I'm proudly a treatment pusher. We took 3 people to treatment today in our vehicles. They're out there right now dropping people off.
Are none of the facilities required to have barriers? Are none of the facilities available or have barrier requirements?
No, I mean, that's because the grant says you can't have barriers or you won't get the funding. And so now the feds have said, we're going to pivot away. We want you to make treatment some element compulsory. And what did we do? We sued them and said, no, we want to double down on the way that we've been doing it. I take big issue with that. And why now I'm a little bit at war. I've got more video that will blow your mind of people just using these tiny houses as trap houses, smoking fentanyl, methamphetamines, and I have the content now. I will be dropping it this week, and it will blow your mind that this is how these villages are being used. And they're going, ha, 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 ha. Thank you for this free service. And plus, nobody's asking us if we want, pushing treatment or helping us get real housing. So we're mocking the system that are costing you all billions while we sit in here and kill ourselves.
And it's crazy, too, because I've been watching, I saw this comparison online the other day. Do you remember the Seattle is Dying documentary everybody was talking about a few years ago? Was that just 2019?
7 years ago.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, 7 years ago. And the number has increased. I'm looking at the numbers right now, but I think the number that was counted in the video was 11,751 people in the documentary 2019. That number has increased by 88%.
Right.
Now,
and we killed 7,200 people.
And 7,200 of those people died.
Yeah.
And their financing and the money that goes towards solving this problem, quote unquote, solving the problem, has dramatically increased. And yet you have almost a 100% increase. So whatever methodology that they are operating on, it's not working. That number should be going down. And
I would flip the whole program around and put money on the ground in addicts helping addicts outreach, street outreach, to say, hey, man, I did it.
Yeah.
I'm a radio guy now.
It's the only people that can tell them.
That's right. We need more addicts helping addicts on the ground, not more capacity. Take the capacity we have and empower people to cycle through it to self-sufficiency.
See, it's good advice. She's on the ground.
I'm with you.
I will trust your anecdotal advice because I think you're in the...
Some villages are that bad.
Yeah, I trust you.
Thank you.
All right, Andrew Suarez, thank you so much for coming in and for giving us an update on this.
All right,
really
join us at WeHeartSeattle.org, folks.
WeHeartSeattle.org. Check it out. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We will be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
Integrity Roofing and Construction is your trusted local roofing and restoration team. Integrity offers free estimates, and the customer satisfaction just speaks for itself. They'll keep your home leak free and protect from the Northwest weather. Protect your biggest investment. Visit IntegrityRC.com to schedule a roof assessment or a video inspection today. They got years of experience, a full design team, complete. They can do the job top to bottom, and they'll treat your home like it's their own. Trust me, I know firsthand. Visit them online, IntegrityRC.com. Check out the incredible reviews or give them a call at 206-202-ROOF.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
If you've saved more than $300,000, there's one thing you can do now that could make your savings go twice as far in retirement, and it's tax planning. That's right, tax planning could significantly reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, Social Security benefits, and other investment income. Charlie Harger here. Find out how much money you could save with a free retirement tax savings analysis from the good people at Boss Retirement Solutions. To schedule your free analysis, call 206-210-1350. Tax planning for retirement could reduce your taxes not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. And the savings could be six figures. Let's find out how much money you could save. Call 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Nothing but net. Nice shot. Man, I miss playing basketball. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
Lower testosterone?
Yeah, men just lose their edge after 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
Nugenix, the testosterone booster.
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula. It skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours and boosts your body's free and total testosterone in just 2 weeks. Since I started taking it, my energy is way up. I feel like I did back when we played for Coach Mac, and it's even spiced things up with my wife.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text SPIRAL to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text SPIRAL to 215-215. That's SPIRAL to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
It's cold outside, and if you're noticing it's taking forever to heat your home, there are cold spots in certain rooms, your furnace turns off and on a lot, or it never stops, or maybe your energy bill is just way too high. These are all warning signs that your home needs a blanket. There may be something wrong with your insulation, which means not only are you uncomfortable in your own home, but you could be wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars a year in lost energy. Call Insulation Northwest today, and we'll send one of our professionals to give you a fast, free energy inspection to determine if there is a problem. And if there is a problem, we can fix it fast. Most jobs are completed in 1 day. You have nothing to lose. The inspection is free and only takes about an hour and could save you thousands. Keep the heat in, the cold out, and your energy bill low. Call Insulation Northwest today. Insulation Northwest, the real insulation company.
Please ask if you qualify for thousands of dollars of free rebates from your energy company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. The Mariners are honoring Ichiro with a statue outside T-Mobile Park on April 10th. And the first 40,000 fans will take home a replica of their own thanks to BDA, with 20 lucky fans scoring one signed by Ichiro himself. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granello. President Trump is now threatening to obliterate Iran's water and infrastructure unless a deal to end the war is reached. And Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the U.S. is close to winning the war. CBS's Michael Wallace has more.
At a Pentagon briefing, Hegseth said many of Iran's troops are deserting and its leaders are frustrated.
The upcoming days will be decisive. Iran knows that, and there's almost nothing they can militarily do about it.
Hegseth revealed he visited with American troops at undisclosed locations in the Middle East over the weekend. He says they all told him,
"Let's finish the mission." Get us even more bombs, bigger bombs, more targets. Let us finish this.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Washington Congressman Adam Smith is calling for a ceasefire. He chairs the House Armed Services Committee and tells CNN.
I mean, we're talking about $4 a gallon gasoline here in the United States. Much of the rest of the world, they're running out of gasoline, period. Because as Secretary Hegseth correctly points out, most of the rest of the world is more dependent upon the Middle East that we just blew up.
And now jet fuel prices have doubled. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has that.
If you're planning to fly soon, book now. Jet fuel rose from $2.17 to $4.56 a gallon, meaning ticket prices could soon follow. Patrick DeHaan, chief petroleum analyst with Gas Buddy, says gasoline could also go up even more.
Washington's already set a new record for diesel. We could get very close to hitting that for gasoline.
Washington sits at an average $4.34 a gallon for gas, $6.61 for diesel. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
19-year-old graffiti tagger took a nasty fall last night, suffering a broken leg and facial injuries. It happened on the ramp from eastbound I-90 to Bellevue Way. State Patrol Trooper Rick Johnson says the tagger fell about 40 feet from the overpass where he was tagging onto the ramp below.
Obviously, it's illegal, and not only for the fact that it's dangerous, but also, defacing, public property.
He was transported to Harborview Medical Center, and the man could face a malicious mischief charge. Now to the real-time traffic desk, we check in with Nate Connors.
Hey, thanks, Aaron. This report brought to us by the Seattle Sports. North 5 through Seattle has our biggest backup this afternoon, and it's jammed up approaching the West Seattle Bridge. Just past I-90, you'll have a nice little break where a lot of drivers are exiting to the express lanes, and then that Ship Canal Bridge backup starts near Lakeview Boulevard, 20 to 25 minutes to get through downtown. Now, South 5, you're doing pretty good. Just slow from the Ship Canal Bridge to I-90. South 405 still slows through Factoria. By the time you hit, say, Cold Creek Parkway, you're going to start to clear out pretty quickly. A little more crowding as you get into Renton. Bellevue to Renton, 15 to 20 minutes. North 405 slows through the Renton S-curves. Seattle to Federal Way is taking a half hour. You've got a typical backup starting near 405. Renton to Puyallup, we're up to 40 minutes. And if you're heading out toward the Hood Canal Bridge, we're still seeing some significant backups on each direction approaching the bridge due to earlier marine crossings. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Now to your forecasting. High clouds today and increasing clouds as the night goes on, ahead of some rain tomorrow. Right now, 54 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. We got some airline stories, some TSA-related stories to chat about here. Let's start with this one. This was kind of a bizarre one, and then we'll get into the TSA stuff. This is the Air Canada CEO who is now having to step down after offering his condolences for that horrible Air Canada crash with a... So was it just last week? There was an Air Canada flight
last week,
that collided with a fire truck.
Correct.
On the tarmac. Mm-hmm. The pilot and the co-pilot both lost their lives. Yeah. Very horrible. Thankfully, nobody else was seriously injured.
It was almost hand to God that more people weren't seriously injured in this.
Unbelievable.
A flight attendant fell through the open bottom of the plane in their seat and was found
survived
fine.
in her seat.
Yeah.
Crazy. So Air Canada CEO why is he stepping down?
Well, because he only gave his condolences in English. It wasn't so. I swear to you,
and not in Canadian.
Yeah, the flight made French. The flight made. You're funny. The flight made an emergency stop. One of the reasons that it led to the tragic incident up at LaGuardia. Mm-hmm. The air traffic controllers were working double duty on a late shift, which is commonplace, but not preferred by anybody.
Sure.
That's a matter of staffing issues up there. But the CEO of Air Canada isn't resigning because of operational difficulties or mistakes made by the airline. It's because it's a bilingual country. And when he took the job as CEO of Air Canada, he promised to learn French, which he doesn't speak.
Yet.
Well, it looks like he doesn't have to bother anymore now because it was one of the two pilots that died was a French-speaking Quebecer.
Okay.
A native of
French Canadian.
Yeah, French Canadian.
Yeah.
And it was deemed that it was very disrespectful to the family and the community at large of a bilingual country to not have someone who can make a proper address. Maybe if he doesn't speak French, get somebody else to do it.
Sure.
But for him to come out and Lord, do we have some tape of that, right? So play a little bit.
I have this here. Actually, no.
Okay.
She has it here for me.
Okay.
Here. I can play it here. All right. This is Air Canada CEO apology. You will be able to understand it because it's in English.
Hello, bonjour. I'm Michael Russo, President and CEO of Air Canada. Today is a very somber day at Air Canada. First, and most importantly, I want to express our deepest sorrow for everyone affected. Our efforts are focused on the needs of our passengers and crew members, along with their families and loved ones. We know this is a difficult day for everyone, including all of us at Air Canada.
All right, so that's part of his.
Yeah, well, you got half of his entire French contribute. He said, bonjour, and at the end of which he goes, thank you, merci. That's the only French he knows is 2 words, basically.
Yeah.
And I get that it shows really poor judgment to step into this moment of condolence and to issue an official statement from Air Canada and not be able to do it respectfully in the 2 languages that are spoken by the community, all your work staff, your workforce, and to the community that they serve.
Can I express an unpopular opinion?
No, by all means, bud.
This is kind of where I'm at on this. I feel like I don't quite understand why he's being asked or forced to step down.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm with you.
That to me feels like a very heartfelt, like condolences that he's offering.
There was nothing wrong with what he said.
There was nothing wrong. There's malice in there that he doesn't.
No,
in fact, you might even be able to make an argument that him not being able to speak French and attempting to do so poorly would have been also a bad thing.
I'm wholeheartedly agreeing with you.
So
they should have had someone come up and make this condolence announcement who spoke fluent French.
Or just release it in written form in French for people they assume they can. I'm not trying to be critical of the French speakers. I'm just saying that I feel like maybe this is misguided. It's a very tender topic.
Right, and they got to be mad at somebody.
Very sad about this, and they're misdirecting their anger, their righteous anger at a horrible situation.
Bingo.
And then this guy is now having to step down.
Right.
Where, like I see videos all the time of leaders who are standing up there on a podium and there's somebody doing sign language.
Sure, right.
Now, they're not firing this guy
stand right
because
behind
he can't do the sign language himself.
No, I hear you. I'm in agreement with you. I want to have somebody standing right behind this former CEO to say it in French. I get you.
Maybe right after, not at the same time.
Yeah,
that could
right
be confusing.
afterwards. Sure,
2 different languages at the same time. Like, there's a reason that you and I don't speak.
And I'm sure this guy, when he was hired as CEO of Air Canada, it's because he had CEO experience. He was going to effectively run the company to maximize, service and profit and safety, all these things that you ask of a CEO.
Yeah.
The fact that he couldn't speak French, he was still the best man for the job, qualified for the job to be CEO of Air Canada.
Sure.
But not to be spokesperson in a moment of condolence. That's where the rub lies.
I don't really,
and I think you're right about it. It's misplaced anger and
like
grief.
It's a little misplaced anger.
Which brings you to our next story.
Okay.
People are going sideways because members of Congress are on a 2-week break. Speaker of the House Johnson sent home the members of Congress for their annual Easter break.
Yeah.
While the government shut down.
Yes.
While TSA is now funded through executive order.
Well, DHS
is unfunded because there's many other elements of DHS that remain unfunded, even though the TSA agents are now going to get their pay by order of the EO.
In fact, they have started receiving.
Got
Trump
money
gave
hit their
that
account
emergency
yesterday.
order, and he said, "Hey, we're going to pay these guys, move some money around." After 44 days of working without pay, they are finally receiving pay and back pay, which is nice. You're making these people whole. They've been working. That has got to be a tremendous relief to those TSA workers.
It is, but no good
That's
deed.
positive.
No good deed goes unpunished, right? Now they're saying, why didn't the president do this 45 days ago if he had the executive power to do this from day one?
I'm sure.
Why did he wait?
I'm sure that he probably was thinking that a deal would be reached, just as everybody was thinking that. And then he looked at the calendar and he said, hey, you know what? Congress is going to leave for 2 weeks. They're going to be on recess. They can't pass any laws. They can't get these people paid. We're certainly not going to force them. If we're going to go out on vacation, we're not going to force these TSA workers to be without pay.
Yep, I think you're spot on. I think
makes sense to me.
I think he signed that because he knew Congress was going away for 2 weeks.
Yeah, he said, guys, get your act together.
Horrible.
Can you imagine how frustrating it would be for the president? I mean, he really doesn't have any control over what they're doing. Obviously, we have different branches of government. He's like, guys, get this thing going, get these people paid, and then you have these knuckleheads in Congress who are dragging their feet and they're infighting and all these different things. And Trump's sitting there like, guys, the will of the people is that these TSA agents get paid. You have people like Tyler Perry who are trying to hand out gift cards. You have local fundraisers here. They're trying to hand out gift cards. You got Elon Musk who's saying, like, I'm willing to pay all of them.
Yeah.
Somebody give these people some money. They deserve it. And then you got these dum-dums in Congress. I shouldn't say dum-dums. You got these people in Congress who
entrenched in their priorities and beliefs.
Yes.
Absolutely, from both different houses.
Yeah,
it was. I think Representative Jim Himes, from Connecticut. Thank you. He said the president, it's an illegal move to use an executive order to fund this because as Congress has the power of the purse.
Listen,
Trump is allocating money from one place to another where he isn't constitutionally allowed to do that. That's a constitutional question. I don't know up from apple butter when it comes to all that. Getting people paid is the right thing to do.
Yeah, I don't know laws too good. I'm not a lawyer, and I don't pretend to be one.
I do pretend sometimes, but
if
I'm
you
not.
find yourself on the opposite side of this saying that he shouldn't be paying TSA agents, I think you're making a bad argument there.
No one's saying
I don't think this is going to work for this
both
guy.
sides are saying, wait a minute, these people shouldn't be held hostage. What both sides can agree
Everybody
upon.
wants them to get paid.
Yeah.
Give them their money.
But
Quit holding them hostage. They make $40,000 a year to start. That's ridiculous. You can't keep those people from getting paid.
You can't. And I think there's like a $10,000 bonus attached to that as well to make these people whole because it's one thing to lose
beyond the back pay?
Beyond the back pay. And I've heard that story, but let me verify before I commit it to stone.
Well, I'm going to take it to stone. I hope it's true.
They've got late penalties, they've got foreclosures, they've got all these. They've incurred all these additional costs.
Many have had to borrow money.
Absolutely, which comes at interest rates. But the real beauty here is that TMZ is following around vacationing members of Congress with the shame cam. They caught Lindsey Graham at Disney World and just confronted, what are you doing at Disney World? You got people who aren't getting paid to do their jobs. You got FEMA not being funded. You got this, that, and the other thing not being funded. You guys are on break. And they're following around both of Democrats.
Following around Democrats
too?
too?
Absolutely.
Because I saw here that he voted 7 times to fund it. That's what he says. He says, I voted 7 times to fully fund the government. He says, call a Democrat.
He voted 9 times against independent funding of every other branch but
because he wanted it fully funded. That makes sense.
Yeah. Again, both sides are playing their cards.
My bigger problem here is that he doesn't have children, does he? Lindsey Graham?
I don't think he's been blessed.
What in the heck is he doing at a Disney World?
Hey, bubble wands are for everybody.
All these people who are going around to Disney World as adults without kids, get out.
Are you saying Lindsey Graham is a Disney adult?
He sounds like a Disney adult.
He's a total Disney adult.
That's a major accusation.
Here's the thing. Disney adults, they need to quit. I saw a video the other day. They debuted Bluey on the Disney platform, and everybody was very excited that they were doing the stage show. 80% of the people in the audience are adults. This is a place for kids.
I'm with you.
Why are adults at Disneyland? If you don't have a kid, I'm looking at you weird.
Can I make a confession?
Yes.
If you're an adult and you don't have a kid with you, you don't bring a glove to the ball game. I was in line the other day behind a guy, full-grown adult, with a glove on. I don't think that's right.
He's got extra stuff going on.
Yeah,
that's
right.
I think of Disney adults too.
Yeah.
People go to Disneyland and don't have kids. I stay away from you. I'll be honest. You walk around in a mini hat, and you're a full-grown person who can vote.
Yeah.
I don't want my kids on a ride with you. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
Aegis Living has been voted Best of Western Washington. And with 500,000 reviews from over 60,000 adult communities nationwide, Seniorly has ranked Aegis Living #1 senior living community in all of America. We're talking about luxury communities, chef-prepared meals, resort-style amenities, and a level of care that has earned them the reputation of being the very best in the industry. Go to aegisliving.com/spike. Schedule a visit today and receive a special take-home gift. There's no obligation. When you tour an Aegis Living facility, don't be surprised if you turn whoever you're with and say, this must be the place, because it truly is. aegisliving.com/spike.
Many financial plans include some level of tax awareness. When retirement begins, considering taxes isn't enough. One overlooked tax decision can quietly cost families thousands over time. At Madrona Financial and CPAs, your plan isn't built around products. It's built around coordination. Licensed CPAs and experienced advisors working together, aligning investments, retirement income, and intergenerational planning using tax-efficient strategies. Madrona Financial and CPAs. Planning built on credentials. Madrona Financial Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
You didn't work hard to watch your retirement unravel. You saved, you sacrificed, you built something meaningful for yourself and for your family. Hi, I'm elder law attorney Rajiv Nagaich. I've seen what happens when unexpected health events collide with traditional retirement plans. Savings that took decades to build drains away faster than anyone expected. At LifePoint Law, we help you build a life plan to help you protect your assets and way of life. If you are retired or thinking about retiring, now is the time to double-check your retirement plan.
Retirement doesn't have to feel like a gamble. With straightforward planning and clear answers, LifePoint Law replaces fear with clarity, but only if you start now. Attend the next seminar this Saturday in Bothell, April 7th in Bremerton, the 9th in Olympia, or the 11th in Federal Way. Seats are limited. Sign up now at lifepointlaw.com. Visit lifepointlaw.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
On top of home and auto, Progressive protects your boat, RV, and motorcycle so you can explore the unknown.
Actually, we just take the RV to the same campground every year.
Well, maybe you can catch your own dinner on your boat.
Oh, we can actually get pizza delivered there from this brick oven place we love.
Will you at least try a new topping?
Honestly, probably not. We kind of have a go-to order.
Fine. Just bundle home or auto insurance with your outdoor vehicles with Progressive and stay protected when you go, I guess, where you've gone before. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine. But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, do you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right? Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction or your money back. File today the easy way in the Credit Karma app.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Do you like helping others? Become a Shiva volunteer. In Pierce County, join the hundreds of volunteers across Washington state who help over 90,000 people each year with their Medicare options and questions. You don't have to know Medicare. We'll teach you. And if you're bilingual, even better. For more information and how to apply, call Shiva at 1-800-562-6900 or go to insurance.wa.gov.
Sponsored by the Office of the Insurance Commissioner and aired by the Washington State Association of Broadcasters and this station.
All right, welcome back to the show. We got a bunch of text messages. Let's just jump right in. Laura, go for it.
On banning license plate readers to protect against ICE, Christine in Renton says that is absolutely, completely absurd. You can expect privacy in your own home. You do not get privacy out in the public. There's a stark difference. Bring back the cameras.
Wow. Julie B says cops need all the help they can get.
That's absolutely true.
True.
Let's see here. This is a good one. 425 says difference between toll roads and the camera system. I made the suggestion that
if we're going to protect privacy.
Yeah, the toll roads.
Yeah.
Let's stop those, at least until we know for sure that none of that information can get access. 425 says difference between toll roads and the camera system they're talking about is that it's your choice to opt into the toll lane. You have many options so that your picture is not taken versus the camera systems that are using takes pictures of everything, whether you are choosing it or not. So my counter to this would be, again, well, then are you just saying that Governor Ferguson is okay with unfair access to the toll lane to people who don't have to worry about their pictures being taken on these cameras? Because that doesn't seem fair to me. If you're so worried about it, then I think that they should shut the tolls down.
Well, even if it's a voluntary surrender of your information, is that going to be shared? That's what I want to know.
The whole law.
Do we have some kind of agreement with the people in Texas who are sending out the fines and collecting the fees that they're not sharing information as per the state's directive?
Until he can answer that question. I don't think they should be tolling people.
253 says they have reflective clear paint that reflects the flash of a camera. It would be a shame if it found its way over a few numbers.
That would be a shame.
DIY.
We're not condoning smoke screen, license plate covers.
That is illegal, right?
It is illegal.
Yeah, okay.
I
Just making
still
sure.
see them all the time.
I see them constantly.
Yeah.
It's a low priority.
Do one of these cell phone coupes that Chick-fil-A is doing.
Okay, 425 says, my wife established a rule at our house years ago when my kids were little. No toys or hats at the table. As my kids have gotten older and are now teenagers, we added no phones at the table. Sometimes our kids roll their eyes at us, but they do follow it. With how busy we all are these days, it's a great opportunity for us to reconnect at the dinner table each evening without the distraction of phones.
Perfect.
Yeah, buddy.
That's a great idea.
Doug in Mount Vernon says the Chick-fil-A challenge won't work at McDonald's due to ongoing ice cream issues.
The machine is never working. Yeah, 100%. You're right. All right, let's do On an Overdose at the new light rail station on Mercer Island, and also the guy who tried to shove somebody to their death onto the tracks. Fernando in Seattle says, so people in Mercer Island don't OD? They don't have any crime? Correlation is not causation. Fernando.
I think the fact that the guy, I love your try, buddy.
Listen, you cannot hear my eyebrow raise over the line here, but come on, dude. Come on.
Chris in 206 says it's pronounced Narcon over on Mercer Island. It's just better stuff.
It's fancier.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Narcon.
On the millionaire's tax, Mike in Puyallup says legislators cheering the new tax is such a bad look. Can you imagine the backlash if the Seahawks or Mariners or Kraken or Storm raised ticket and concession prices and then held a celebratory cheer during their announcement of said increases? I would argue that legislators should be apologizing rather than cheering for failing to budget overspending and instead taking more and more money from taxpayer wallets.
Mike in Puyallup, you're 100% right.
Dude,
Absolutely.
I love that guy.
Good job, Mike. Yeah.
Chuck in Lake Forest Park says, I love Rob McKenna.
That really is the takeaway from the show today.
Yeah.
That guy's solid, and we need to see him back in an elected office. I think that would be real nice. And you know what would be a nice calling card to build on? Stopping the income tax.
There you go.
Protecting our Constitution, our state. All right, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. The John Curley Show is coming up next, but we will be back here tomorrow at noon, so tune in for that. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Hey, I want to tell you a sellwithwes.com success story. Wes Jones knows how important your home sale can be for your future plans. So when he got a call from Susan in Federal Way, he was eager to step up and help her sell her home of 25 years.
Her house was her biggest asset, and this home sale was super meaningful for her. So she's like, I know that I'm leaving money on the table in the condition that it's in. Like, what can we do?
I told him up front that I did not have the time or finances to do what needed to be done. done. And he immediately jumped in with, well, I do.
He told her about their Listing Boost concierge service.
We identified probably 4 or 5 major things.
It just was all so fast. They did everything.
I'm a son of a builder, and I've done a lot of flips over the years. So this is work that we actually like to do. We are seeking this out.
And I would just tell anybody, here's his phone number, give him a call. He'll take care of it.
So if you're in the market to sell your home, do what Susan did. Check out Wes Jones and his team at sellwithwes.com. Sell with Wes, a better way to sell your home.
Remember that time we were driving through France and for some reason we didn't have GPS?
Oh, for some reason? That reason would be that you didn't plug your phone in because you didn't have a charger.
Yeah, because I let you borrow my phone so you could call your mother, and you're on the phone for like 30 minutes telling her where we are. But that aside, we didn't know where we were going. We did fight a little bit because we didn't know where we were going. I think that Longevity Medical Clinic is like the GPS for us. They tell us which turns to make. They tell us which directions to go, right?
They do. And now I feel like the two of us together have a clear path and we have more control over our own health care.
Right, exactly. So you don't have to get out of the car and try to find information somewhere. It's all right there. As you're aging, all the little sort of turns you have to make in order to be able to have lots of energy and to enjoy your life. So for as far as I'm concerned, Longevity Medical Clinic is our GPS. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.